G'day, my name's Zachary Ward. I am doing the Diploma of Nutrition Non-Clinical Advisor through the Australian Institute of Personal Trainers. This is my video submission, second attempt for my advisory session 1, 2 and 3. All clients have been briefed on the entrance and exits in the building in case of an emergency. They have knowledge of where the amenities are, and the safe hand washing protocols have previously been done. The video will be, the demonstration of that will be on the next slide. G'day Mim, how are you?
I'm good, how are you?
Good, thank you. Thanks for coming in.
No worries.
So I'm just going to tell you a little bit about myself. I'm Zach, as you already know, and I am your nutritional advisor today. I'm going to give you some good advice in accordance with the Australian dietary guidelines. And anything that I can't answer that's above my scope of practice, I will refer you to an allied health professional to get that exact answer.
Sounds good.
Cool. So, Mim, tell me a bit about yourself. What do you do for a job?
Okay, so I work at the ATO.
Yep.
I'm an executive assistant.
Awesome.
I work 3 to 4 days a week.
Mm-hmm.
And that is a super busy job because I'm like on top of my boss and her work all day.
Yep.
And I have 2 kids. They are 4 and, almost 5 actually, and 7 and a half.
Yeah. They'll keep you pretty active, I'd imagine.
Very active,
Yeah.
very busy.
Yeah.
They're super cheeky, so yeah, it's such a busy life, busy and stressful at times. On top of that, I'm trying to keep my fitness level up and eat well and all that. So
Awesome.
Yeah.
Awesome. And you were saying before that you come from a sporting background?
Yep, so I've always worked out.
Yeah.
I used to do various things like boxing, on and off. But nothing ever stuck until sort of a couple of years ago when I started weightlifting and getting into bodybuilding. I started really focusing on my strength training and then decided to compete.
Wow, okay. That's fantastic. And I imagine through competing that'd be pretty strict, like regime, eating and weightlifting. And what would a day look like for you?
So a day typical would be wake up at about 5:30 in the morning.
Yeah.
Get in my pre-workouts, get straight to the gym, work out for about an hour and a half, come back and get the kids ready for school and get them dropped off, me head to work, and by the end of the morning I'm already exhausted. But then I've got to sit at work and deal with my boss until the end of the day, about 5 o'clock, and then I head home, pick them up, head home for dinner, and that's about it.
Awesome. Well, that sounds very busy. And one last thing, I did hear on the grapevine you were studying to become a PT.
Yeah, so that's gradually happening.
Yeah.
on the side with all the things that are going on.
Yeah.
But I will be hopefully finished soon. The Cert 3 and then on to the Cert 4 next year.
Awesome.
So,
Oh, that's awesome, man.
Yeah.
Ooh. Okay, Mim, so I just want to go over our pre-screening that we did over the phone a little while ago. So I just want to check some information here. So you're 34 years old.
Yeah.
You look 25.
Thank you.
There we go. Height, weight is 55.5 kilos.
Yes. No,
Approximately?
Yeah, approximately.
Yep.
Fluctuates.
Fluctuates. So you just got back from holiday, so...
Yes, so nice and relaxed.
Good. 159 centimetres.
Yes.
Awesome. So with this information here, I was able to calculate your BMI.
Yep.
At 22.5. So that's right smack bang in the middle of the healthy range.
Oh, great.
So, yeah, you're not going to lose any sleep over this, which
That's
is good.
good.
So your healthy weight range, accordance to the BMI, is 46.8 kilograms.
Haven't been that since I was 17. Okay.
262.9
Yeah.
kilograms. So that's like that in the healthy weight range, accordance to the BMI. So, so you have a lot of room to move inside there, and you're sort of smack bang in the middle, which is good. So, I just want to go over your goals here. So, obviously, you are a fitness competitor.
Yeah.
A lot of restrictive dieting, probably eating a lot of things that you may not, like the average person probably wouldn't eat, and sometimes it's not as healthy for you to get to that low level of body fat. So, one of your main goal is to correct your diet and bring it back inside the Australian Dietary Guidelines?
Yep.
Awesome. So, sort of what is your current eating habits?
Yeah,
like?
So it wasn't a lot of variety of food.
Yep.
So we stuck to the basic protein. I had a lot of protein in my diet. Almost every meal had about 30 grams of protein in it.
Wow. And how many meals per day?
About 6 a day. So 6 meals a day, and only one of those meals had carbohydrates, which was just some rice.
Yeah.
And the carbohydrate levels were sort of going up and down depending on how my body responds.
Yeah.
But again, that was restrictive. The only carbohydrates I was having was rice, sweet potato, and rice cakes, and maybe a banana.
Oh,
but
wow.
That's it. So there wasn't a lot of variety when it comes to whole foods. And the proteins were lean meats, chicken, breast, any kind of like really lean meat that, brought the fat levels sort of down.
Yeah.
And I was on different fats, so plant-based fats, coconut oil, and some nuts. So that was,
Wow.
that was it. So I didn't get a lot of variety of fruit and vegetables. I mean, it did have veggies, but again, it wasn't anything I wanted. It was mostly greens. So that's it. And I didn't get to have any dairy or no dairy, no gluten, no bread products.
Yep.
And no legumes like chickpeas, lentils, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Wow.
So
Do you think you would like have any psychological issues introducing these foods back in, like in accordance with the Australian Dietary Guidelines? Do you think?
I think it will be a bit of a shock to the system at first because I know that those sorts of foods that I cut out of my diet may have negative effects when I introduce them back in at the start. But I think they'll have to be introduced slowly so that I don't blow out, feel bloated and feel uncomfortable. But I really want to include them back into my diet so I have more of a balanced diet. And I have more options to, if I wanted to eat out, I can choose whatever I want.
Yeah, perfect.
So,
Perfect. That's awesome. Well, if I can't completely help you here today, because I can't prescribe a diet or anything to help you in this, I can recommend things for you. But if you want something with a bit more information behind it, I can give you the information and also refer you to a dietitian. They can also help you in this journey of reintroducing things that you might feel like you might create an intolerance to after not having it for so long, and just things like that.
Yeah.
So, that's pretty incredible though. The amount of sort of protein and things you are consuming.
Yeah, very high protein.
Very high. It's almost like 4 or 5 times the amount.
It was.
What the guidelines, Australian Dietary Guidelines would refer to. But
yeah.
Awesome. And what sort of do you experience rapid sort of weight loss in that and drastic changes and fluctuations? Like in
Only if the diet changes. So if the diet was amended in any way, I would lose a little bit. If the diet increased in calories overall, I would put on a little bit. But it wasn't particularly drastic. But we did sort of do this over a long... When I was, come to cutting and close to stage weight, I was having to reduce my calories slowly. And to avoid any hormonal issues. But I think when I got down to a very low body fat percentage, I was having some hormonal issues, and so needed to correct that a little bit and bring my calories back up after stage.
Did you see like a medical professional or get like blood work done or anything from a doctor after?
Yeah, I did have blood tests done. Everything was fine.
Okay, cool.
So, but obviously those kind of diets are not sustainable.
Yes.
Not good to do long term. I know that personally. And it's very important to sort of get back to homeostasis mode. Bring those calories back up and be able to eat more variety so that hormone levels regulate again.
Absolutely. And just one last thing with your training, obviously that complements the nutrition. Give me a bit of rundown on that, just so I know how physically active you are, and we can help sort of use this because you still train regularly now, even though you're not competing at the moment.
Yep, that's right. So I'm still weight training 5 days a week.
Yep.
I'm doing a light cardio once a week, just because at the moment I don't need to do a lot of cardio. We're not sort of trying to lose weight or anything, so I weight train. I sort of incorporate one big body part and a small body part per day in those 5 days. So that's a bit. That's
wow. That's awesome. All right, so thanks for all that information then, Mim. Obviously, I have most of it down, and we've got a little bit more. So what I want to do with you now, I want to sit down with you, and I'm going to do a food diary of sort of what you eat on over, say, the last 24-hour period, and we'll sort of keep it easy. Obviously, you know what servings and things are. You're pretty on to that. So we're gonna sort of compare what you have in 24 hours at the moment with what the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommends a female of your age and stature should be consuming per day. So obviously, like off the top of our head, I think we're going to see a bit of a difference in protein servings and things, and maybe like the legumes and things like that you were saying before. And then essentially we want to rematch your diet and get it back in line with the guidelines and work from there. And then from that, I can give you some recommendations on quick and easier foods and things like that as well. Because you say you are busy, instead of cooking the big steaks and having the mass amount of protein and things, utilising things you can get like clean like tuna and stuff like that, and getting other carbs like bananas and fruits and things in there and things like that.
That sounds good.
All right, we'll get into this diary. All right, Mem. So, if you have a look at this website just here, this is the eatforhealth.gov.au. So this is where essentially you're going to find the Australian Dietary Guidelines of pretty much everything dieting-wise.
Yep.
Pretty self-explanatory. So I'm just going to click into it here. So now we have a little food diary laid out, and we're just going to go through and match what your servings per day of a particular item, and then what the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend.
Yep.
And this is just found in the tab here. So you go up the top here to nutrition calculators, and you just go average recommended number of servings. So easy, bang, this is where we are here. We put your details in, and so we'll go from here. So what do you think you'd consume in 24 hours of vegetables, legumes and beans? Like just on average.
On average, so vegetables only at the moment, I get about 600 grams per day.
Okay, cool. So you said probably about five or six servings a day?
Yes.
So essentially, yep.
Yeah.
Cool. And fruit.
I
so
only get one serve of fruit.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. What type of fruit is that?
It's a banana post-workout.
post-workout, okay, so you're still very regimented and getting like your sort of your carb, sugary sources post-workout for the glycogen absorption. Yeah, okay, awesome. And grains, cereals, whole grains.
No grains at the moment.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so essentially put
zero.
Zero. Okay. Yep.
Is rice considered a grain?
Yes.
Oh, then I would say 2 serves.
Okay, 2 serves. Yeah.
2 serves of rice.
Yeah.
Sorry, I'm thinking like seeds and things like that.
Like breads and things.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. And on that, would you feel comfortable bringing in, say, like some whole grain, like breads and things into your diet, some whole grain, maybe cereals and things? Like, have you thought something? Okay, cool.
I miss having that. I miss having my oats.
Yeah.
And some sourdough bread, that kind of thing.
Yeah, 100%. Okay, so meat, poultry, fish, nuts, eggs, seeds, legumes, and beans.
Yeah. So I get. I was trying to think. 1, 2, 3, 4 serves of those proteins.
Yep.
So I get 1 fish, 2 meats, and 1 chicken.
Wow. So
okay,
4 serves, solid. It's a lot of protein. Awesome. Dairy.
0 dairy.
0 dairy.
Yeah.
Okay, and that's something that you'd obviously like to reintroduce again.
Yeah, I just want to make sure I'm getting calcium and all those things.
Yeah, absolutely. And discretionary items. So this could be like fats, more like spreads and things on breads. It could be like crackers and just things like that. Sort of like more snacky type.
Yeah, the only snacky thing I'm having is peanut butter.
Okay, is that the natural?
Yes.
Okay, cool. So that'll come under here then anyway. So
okay.
It's just crushed peanuts. So
yeah.
But if it was one that had like added vegetable oils and things like that, I'd definitely put it in the discretionary item. So like most of those sort of like ones that are the less advertised for children and things, they put like a bit of sodium and things like that, and added vegetable oils and things. So
maybe I have like this chili sauce thing.
Oh yeah. Okay, cool.
I might add a tablespoon of that.
Tablespoon, so that's probably like a serve, is it?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Because cool. Well, all right. We come back here. So we have the top line is yours, your servings per day, and in your food diary, and this is the Australian Dietary Guidelines.
Yeah.
So if we look at the vegetables here. You are consuming probably a little bit extra of vegetables, so we can bring this down. This is probably because it's something you used to fill up on a lot, being calorically quite low.
Yes.
So we can definitely to pull your vegetables, and we can actually start introducing legumes and beans and things in here as well.
Yeah.
So so maybe you can do like 2 serves of vegetables. Maybe implement a serve of legumes and then a serving of beans as well. Maybe just to mix it up.
Yeah.
So we want to bring this down 1, and that's no dramas at all.
Yeah.
How do you feel maybe introducing some legumes and beans?
Yeah. Love to add like some of because we love Mexican, so
nice.
add some beans and usually I'm the one who's taking the portion without the beans.
The tide has turned, so it's good.
Yeah.
Awesome. Okay, so we look at the fruits. You're consuming 1. Australian Dietary Guidelines recommends you can have 2 per day.
Yep.
Where you have these in your day, you can have this before and after work. That's completely up to you. But essentially, we want to match this, so we want to bring this up.
Yeah.
So, what other fruits do you like?
Berries.
Berries?
Love berries.
Let's get a serving of berries in there, I think. Any type? Strawberries, blueberries, all the berries?
All the berries.
All the berries, fantastic. I highly recommend, And look, if you want to get a little bit more advanced with the way you consume them, you could have your 2 servings straight after. You have 2 servings of berries or
like a smoothie.
Yeah, 100%. Definitely, but you definitely want to increase that there, which is really, really good. Cool. So let's get into the more. This is my favourite things: grains. I love grains, cereals. Whole grains, all the works and jerks. So you're on 2 a day, which is really quite minimal compared to what the dietary guidelines recommend. which is 6 per day. So, so you're only essentially having rice.
Yeah, so I just stick to either brown or white rice.
Yep.
And rice cakes. So they're my servings of grains.
Okay, rice cakes. Yeah. Cool. Have you decided? Like, would you ever consider? So obviously we want to bring these up, and we want to get some more variety in there. So things like using crisp breads or anything like that, or some sourdough. Obviously sourdough. Yes, you said that before.
Sourdough bread, yum.
Definitely. Some whole grain bread. What's your look on like pastas and things?
Oh,
like,
I love pasta.
Get some you can get some meat whole grain pastas now.
Yeah.
It's an easy meal, I suppose, for the kids and the whole family. Just smack it in a pot and
they would love that.
yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Awesome. And okay, so we've got 2 a day here. So let's have a look. So we want to get you up to 6. So you can keep having your rice. This is fantastic. You know, you could even alternate between white and brown. Brown being a little bit more lower GI, which is a bit better on energy. It's more like slow releasing energy essentially, which I think sort of keeps you full for longer, things like that. Mm-hmm. But would you so consider, say, maybe for your next meal having like a whole grain sandwich for a serve, and then maybe doing, I suppose, some pasta.
Yeah.
And then even look at maybe even some cereal in the morning, and they can try and get this up to the quota of 6 serves a day. A little bit of variety, maybe like one thing at a time, essentially, and just reintroduce these things back into your diet.
Definitely.
To get them in line with the Australian Dietary Guidelines.
I can't wait for that.
Awesome. I love cereal. Just steer clear of the Cocoa Pops, a bit too much sugar in that. And so meat, poultry, fish, nuts, eggs, seeds, legumes and beans. Obviously you are powering through this a little bit too much.
Yes.
In accordance with the guidelines. So they recommend 2.5 servings a day. So let's so obviously you're eating protein pretty much every meal.
Yeah.
All day at the moment. So
all day.
Yeah, okay. So would you consider maybe having like a protein source around? You can split this up evenly, you can, or maybe like have like a protein source for lunch.
Yep.
And then a protein source for dinner.
Yeah.
And then just sort of alternating sort of between different sources at that stage. Maybe for lunch, instead of having like the chicken and stuff that you're so used to. Giving things like tuna a go, or some like turkey sandwiches. You can do a turkey wholemeal sandwich where you're actually bringing in one of your serves of your grains as well into that. And so obviously you got a lot of grains to eat, but not so much protein now, or protein sources.
Yeah.
So
yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah,
probably cut out my meat because I'm getting a bit tired of the red meat.
The red meat, yeah, 100%. So yeah, you can definitely start using like turkey and stuff like that. Tuna, as I said before, salmon, which is fantastic.
Yeah, love salmon.
Got all the good fats in there. And there's also other things like tofus and things like that. I suppose like are quite popular. Obviously, it's a bit more of like a vegetarian, vegan thing. But every now and then I like to. A bit of something like that, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
it's always nice. So we want to bring down the servings to 2.5. So that's essentially, I suppose, maybe start practicing around 2 of your meals instead of every meal.
Yeah.
Or if you do like protein over every meal, you can just, I suppose, split up those servings equally.
Yeah.
Over the day, but that I suppose comes down to personal preference.
Yeah.
How are you with that so far?
Yeah, that's good so far.
Good so far.
Looking
cool.
more balanced.
More balanced, yeah, definitely. Yeah. Everything we do here too, we're going to email it to you, and so you're going to have a copy of everything and the websites and things.
Great.
All right. Dairy. So we got Zippo. 0 over here. And the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend that you need 2.5 per day.
Yeah.
So obviously you don't have any intolerances to dairy products?
I don't think I do.
Don't think you do?
Yeah,
okay.
no.
Yeah. Well, if you're ever concerned about it, obviously I can refer you to a dietitian or to a doctor and actually get a blood test for that.
Okay.
And if you are concerned about it.
Yeah, I didn't know you could get a test for that.
Yeah. Oh, fantastic. That's easy. So we can. I'll write your referral after this if you like, and you can come back when I get you back in next month, and we can go through everything.
Yeah.
Awesome. So for the meantime, so you think you're okay with dairy? So definitely have to start implementing some more dairy, highlight, and it's very important with the calcium and things like that as well. So would you consider using things like cheeses and maybe implementing some yogurts for a snack through the day?
Yeah, I love the Greek yogurt.
Greek yogurt, yeah, awesome. You could do things, get a serving of your berries in there or something, Greek yogurt and berries, and 100%, it's awesome. People even do, you can even use, you've got so much whole grains here, get some of the clean whole grain cereals, sprinkle it on top, which is also another good meal idea. Yeah,
that sounds good.
Awesome. So we've got 2.5 servings, currently at 0, so let's try and get that in. So Greek yogurt, some cheese, even a glass of milk or something.
Yeah. Add it to a smoothie.
Add it to a smoothie. Yeah, 100%. Perfect. Well, that's awesome. All right, sounds like we're on to that. And the last one, discretionary items. So this is the bit of the taboo sometimes. People obviously like to overindulge in these things, and sometimes people don't actually have enough. So I think everything in moderation, and I think that's what the Australian Dietary Guidelines like to do as well. Everything is good, just in moderation. So you're currently having 1, so you actually have another 1.5 servings a day you can have of this. So
okay.
You were saying you sort of liked, was it like a chutney or chili sauce?
It's like a chili paste sort of thing.
Yep.
Yeah.
Awesome, okay.
I just use it to flavour some meals, because they can be a bit bland at times.
Yeah.
So...
Okay. Cool. Okay. Well, that's awesome. So, essentially, here we have brought your diet back up to the Australian Dietary Guideline recommendations of 5 servings of vegetables, legumes, and beans. 2 fruits. 6 grains, cereals, and whole grains. 2.5. So we've had to lower this one here a little bit. Of the meat, poultry, fish, nuts, eggs, seeds, and beans. We've increased to 2.5 servings of dairy. And we've increased, you have a bit of a leeway here, so you don't have to, but you have the ability to use up to 2.5 servings of the discretionary items. So, and I think that's a good thing, especially someone in your position where you've been restrictive dieting for so long. Give yourself a bit of, like, you're supposed to enjoy food. It's not supposed to be boiled broccoli and chicken 9 times a day or whatever it is,
Boring, bland food.
100%, because it's also good for a mental break.
It is,
and just getting a healthy relationship with food again.
Well, I'm definitely ready for that change. So.
Awesome. Well, and another fantastic feature on here, so you're quite into your calculators and things. So if we come in here into nutrition calculators, we can calculate your daily energy needs, calculate your daily nutrient requirements. So we come into here, and you're going to put your details: female, 34 years old. I'm going to show you nutrient requirements for the day. So, obviously, there's a lot of information out there that can be conflicting, and there's just a lot of information. There's a lot of misinformation on the internet as well.
There is.
So this brings up here essentially your protein requirements, vitamins, B6, B12, folate, vitamin C, calcium, all these things, iron, magnesium, potassium, zinc. So this is quite a good, interesting index for you to have a look at in your own time. Even
just looking at that now, I can see that I'm overdoing it on some of the things and very much underdoing on other things like calcium.
Definitely.
I can see that already, so that's really good.
What we can even get you doing over the next month before I see you again is, so you use MyFitnessPal, which is awesome for tracking your calories and things, but you can actually track your nutrient intakes as well, which is fantastic. And then we can actually start comparing, and you can start comparing yourself in the evening and trying to, obviously don't go overboard and don't, if you're having 47 grams of protein and not 46, that's not a huge deal. That's not the whole point of this, but just trying to get your nutrient intakes in line with the dietary recommendations as well, which is very important. Because the foods we eat essentially can bring in these nutrients to our body. So which is really, really interesting. That's
interesting. Didn't know there was a calculator like that.
So this is the eatthehealth.gov.au, and I'll give you the links for this in your email. And yeah, this is very, very fascinating. All right, thanks for that, Mem.
That's all right. Thank you for the info.
All right, Mem. So we've just had a look at the discrepancies, obviously, in your food diary and given you some alternatives and to align your current diet with the dietary guidelines.
Yeah.
So now I know you have a couple of questions, so let's fire them off.
Yeah. So I'm just trying to think. I'm struggling to prepare my food at the moment. Plus feed the family in between working and working out and all the things I've got to do. I'm just trying to think, what's the best way, like, do you have any suggestions on how to prepare food, like, for me, because I need convenience more than anything.
Yeah.
And I don't have a lot of time in my day, so it needs to be, somewhere where I can, fit it in somehow.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, what I can look at here is, so like, if we just come back, so we've aligned your serving sizes pretty much with the Australian dietary guidelines now. So essentially, what is one of the major parts of cooking for you previously was your proteins.
Yeah.
So your meats and your fish and your red meats and your chicken breasts and things. So essentially, now that we have these down to 2.5 servings per day, we can even look at alternating between. You don't have to just use cooked servings of protein. So you can utilising the canned tunas and your turkey breasts and your more cold like low fat deli meats and things. You do have to be aware of the sodium content in there, but as long as you're aware of that and you understand reading nutrition labels and things from your background, that shouldn't be an issue. But that can actually cut down your essentially your prepping of the proteins essentially through the day, which is good. And then with prepping the protein sources, obviously you still want to alternate between some chicken and red meat and stuff like that. So you can look at cooking it, say, every couple of days and having it in big containers in the fridge ready to go. So it's dinner time with the kids, pull it out, load them up, load yourself up, husband up, good to go. Everyone eats. Just sort of microwave it, everyone eats, everyone's done, wash the dishes, and then you still got your meals in there for tomorrow. So prepping every couple of days as opposed, generally I think the normal consensus is you come home, then cook the kids dinner, and then cook everyone else dinner.
I literally don't have time for that.
Yeah. So essentially just utilising pre-done protein sources. And then cooking for a couple of days in advance.
Okay,
I think is a better option than just cooking sort of as we go and for the night. And so
I do like to have like veggies cooked up fresh, as fresh as possible in the night, and then I guess I can make a whole bunch of veggies and then keep it for my meals the next day.
Sure. And it's actually really good. And then definitely. So I'd imagine, because some people do, and I know people that do it, would cook, say, for the entire week on one day. But then you'd have to get used to the fact that you're going to be obviously freezing more than half of that food and then defrosting. So would you and your family enjoy that style? It's
probably not.
Probably not as much.
Yeah. I might be okay with it, but I don't think the kids and the husband would be. They like variety as well, so they don't want to be eating the same thing every night.
100%. And variety is so important, and that's the guidelines also recommend, which is good. Awesome. And eating out. How are you going with eating out at the moment? Because you've been dieting for so long. And you're sort of keen to get back out there. How do you feel about eating out at the moment, and making right decisions?
I'm starting to be okay with eating out because I know from a mental aspect, if you sort of go out and eat whatever you want, you sort of feel guilty about it. And I'm trying to get past that. And I want to be able to just go out and eat whatever I want and feel okay with it. Obviously within reason. But it's I'm getting there. I'm getting to the point where I just want to, like, I'm okay with eating out. And if I want to order that burger, I will. But obviously, with my conscience telling me just, don't go overboard.
Don't go overboard.
Yeah.
That's awesome. And there's a whole bunch of alternatives as well. You don't always have to get the burger as well. You can always go, I tell my clients, always try to stick, like with lean. You can always get lean chicken or some lean eye fillets of things. You can always get side salads, and you can always go the rice option instead of getting the chicken palmy gravy and side of chips.
Yeah.
Well, don't get me wrong.
My weakness.
Which is and there's, it's definitely a food you can have once, in a while, like as a treat. Absolutely, it's a good psychological break.
Yeah.
But it's definitely something we don't recommend all the time. Awesome. And so, would you say how are your kids essentially with their vegetables and trying to get them to
their variety is quite limited as they're fussy.
Yeah.
But I probably get in about a couple of serves of veggies, even though that it needs to be more.
Yeah.
But because they're so fussy, and I have to, it's an effort for me to force them to eat their veggies. But we try and stick to the things that they like: carrots, cucumbers, avocado.
Yep.
My son's not a fan of tomatoes for some reason. But we just, and I sort of like throw in a bit of spinach, grate some zucchini in a bolognese whenever I can, without them realising. But they're okay with their veggies, sort of.
No, that's good.
We try and get it in, but they eat out a couple of days. They love their sushi.
Yep.
So that happens once a week.
Yep.
That's
interesting. Kids, well, as I know, like their McDonald's and things. And yours, you got them trained on sushi, which is pretty good. Like.
Yeah, it's not too bad. I don't like the McDonald's. My mum gives into the McDonald's thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I try not to let that happen more than a couple of times a month because they love the Happy Meals, the toys they get.
It's all very smart marketing, isn't it? Yeah. Awesome. That's fantastic. So I was just going to say before, with vegetables and children, there's a couple of awesome ways you can prepare them to sort of hopefully get them to eat them essentially.
Yeah.
More or less disguising them as chips.
Yes.
So
I love their chips.
Yeah, as most kids do. So like say with like broccoli and things, you can chop them up into just sort of like medium-sized pieces.
Yeah.
Put them in a non-stick fry pan, and you can fry them up with some herbs and things like that as well.
Yeah.
Which sort of it works. You know what I mean? Like it's
I'll give it a go. Hopefully they'll like it.
Bit of a good idea. You can also, it sounds a bit silly, but you can get like low sugar and sugar-free tomato sauce now.
Yep. Okay.
Which is really, really good. It's made by Foundation.
Yes. Yeah.
And they essentially chips and tomato sauce. It's the sort of way we like to look at it, and they're getting their irons and things like that, and their fibres and things from the vegetables. So it's a different way to getting to eat them. But hey,
well, I recently bought myself an air fryer.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
Wow.
So we tried out some because I love sweet potato. We tried out some sweet potato chips. That worked out alright.
That's good. Yeah.
But I'm going to try and do it with the green stuff, like the zucchini, like you're suggesting. Broccoli.
Yeah. Asparagus works well as well.
Oh, asparagus, that's a good idea.
Yeah. Alright, awesome. Alright, Mim, so I hope all that information wasn't too bombarding.
No, it's alright.
Everything will be sent to you in an email as well, so you can go through it in your own time. So, Mim, I just wanted to revisit your goals of coming here, and then the session goals that I had essentially planned for you. So just going back through our notes here, so your goal was to bring your diet in line with the Australian Dietary Guidelines, get some ideas with some different sources of proteins and things. So how are you feeling? Are you feeling like you've gained enough knowledge from this?
I think I'm realising that as I said, I was overdoing it in some, some of the foods and underdoing some of the others.
Yeah.
And I wasn't getting a good variety of food.
Yeah.
especially with cutting out dairy and all that sort of thing.
Yeah.
So yeah, and I'm looking forward to having, a variety of everything. Something
That's awesome.
Every food group.
That's awesome. And, like, this might take some time. Like, everything doesn't happen overnight. I'm sure if you really wanted to, you could. But, like, don't freak out. Tonight you do have 3 servings of protein or whatever. Like, as long as, we make a conscious effort to try and to mould that back into what the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend, you'd be definitely on the right track.
Okay.
Which is awesome. So, and then giving you different ideas on sources, like grain sources, protein sources. Are you feeling pretty comfortable with that now? Different selections, ways to prepare them?
Yeah, I think so. I think I need to probably look at nutrition labels a bit more.
Yep.
Work out a good way to read them and work out what I'm getting, what I'm not getting.
Awesome. Well, that's easy as that, because I have this block of chocolate just sitting here.
Yum.
Yeah, some New Zealand premium chocolate. My goodness. Is that pronounced Manuka?
Manuka honey,
Manuka honeycomb. 35% cocoa, my goodness. So, someone has left this around. I might have to consume this. So, with reading nutrition labels, it's pretty simple. Okay, so we have per serving and per 100 grams. Sometimes people get confused. They think, oh my god, this is a whole serving. One. If you look at normally like a packet of chips, like a little packet of chips, like per serving that's only 158 calories. That's fantastic. And then you look down the bottom and it's like 3.6 servings per packet in a tiny packet. You just think, what? Because it's the energy that the calorie intake from that, if you know what I mean.
Yeah.
So, a best way to stay on top of things is just understanding the basics of nutrition labels. So, pretty self-explanatory. Per serving and then per 100 grams. So, per serving, you're going to get 466 kilojoules.
Yep.
And there's 5 servings in this.
Right.
Okay, so that's a lot. So, per 100 grams, and this is 100 grams in this packet. So, if you eat the whole packet, that is 2,330 kilojoules.
Wow.
So, my brain doesn't like kilojoules as much. I'm a calorie person.
Yeah, I always get confused with kilojoules.
So, there's like 4 kilojoules per calorie. So, 2,330 so that's 582 calories for this packet here. You see, but most people think, it's just a small block of chocolate. That's all right. One serving. Oh, great. 466 kilojoules. No dramas. I can smash that. I'm completely guilt-free. But so as long as you understand how many servings per packet, which is at the top here, per serve, and per 100 grams. You look at all 3. Just take a second to think about this. And you just add it up in your head very quickly. And you look. So obviously this is not what you call nutrient-dense food. A nutrient-dense food is, say, like a piece of chicken or like broccoli. That's nutrient-dense, rich full of nutrients. This is an energy-dense food. Right. So this is full of energy. I'm talking like sugar and fat, the majority of it.
Yeah.
So if you look at the protein content per here, bang for buck, it's pretty rubbish. 1.5 grams. But look at the fat, you get 7.2 grams per serving. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
And then you have 9 calories per 1 gram of fat. So 4 calories per 1 gram of protein, 4 calories per 1 gram of carb. So, and then you look at your different fats in here. You have saturated fats, trans fats. These are the worst of the worst of the worst.
Yeah.
You essentially want to avoid most things with trans fat.
Okay.
It's polyunsaturated, monounsaturated, saturated fats are all very good for you with moderation.
Yeah.
Trans fats is virtually poison in most people's eyes. Like, so that's like, it's like.
What would have trans?
Chocolate. So it has a tiny little bit of trans fat in it.
Oh, right.
And obviously everything in moderation still. Like I'm not saying you can't have things with trans fat, but a lot of things like burgers and say like deep fried foods and things like that. You know what I mean? So like pizza, pretty much anything fast food will have trans fats in it.
Yeah.
Which is definitely not good. And if you look down here, another important factor, sodium levels. Okay, so sodium level here is 15 milligrams per serving. So if you were to eat this whole block of chocolate, which most people could do, you're getting 76 milligrams of sodium inside that. And then if we look at how much sodium you're allowed per day, So 46 to 920 milligrams of sodium per day. So you're looking at one. That's actually not too bad.
Yeah.
Considering, like, if I had a packet of chips, it'd probably be like you would have nearly used up your whole sodium.
Yeah.
But for chocolate, it's pretty good.
It's not too bad.
That's because it's New Zealand. Yeah. So are you feeling comfortable to sort of read that? And another good thing too is just read the ingredients. Obviously, if you look to the left here, it's generally from left to right is the main ingredients, and you sort of work down from there. So you've got like milk chocolate, sugar, like obviously, you know what I mean? Like, so a lot of that is a percentage of sugar, milk fat, and you got your natural food colourings and flavours, glucose, syrup, maize, butter. So Manuka honey is only 1%.
Yeah.
So like obviously honey is good for you in moderation, but it's almost a bit of false advertising. It's this is Manuka honeycomb, but it's only 1%. So 1% of that would be like a tiny little, you know what I mean, like amount. So, but anyway, that's it's just being aware of what's on the food label, and understanding what that. So servings per serve and per 100 grams.
Okay.
So are you feeling confident?
Yeah, that's pretty simple to follow, I think.
Awesome. Yeah. Very, very awesome. And there's 2 blocks of chocolate. My goodness, what's happening here? So yeah, you would feel comfortable picking up anything. I don't think there's water, no label on there. But awesome. So when you go do the shopping, start picking up a few different things.
Yeah.
It's always good to have a look at like your sauces.
Yeah.
Hidden calories, man. Hidden energy that you think, you know, you get a nice bit of chicken breast and we pour marinara all over it. And there's a lot of hidden sugars and fats and things, trans fats in there as well.
Yeah.
So just being aware of that. And flavouring food, you can always like the old, like, herbs. Herbs is perfect, you know, your garlics and your turmerics and your cumin and your paprikas and all that sort of good stuff. It's fantastic. So utilise all your herbs and things. So my, obviously, session goals for you in this consultation was to help you decide how to get your diet in line with the guidelines.
Yeah.
Giving you alternative choices of different foods that we've all written down here. Different ways of food preparation, how to help, you know, essentially get even your kids eating vegetables, and just rounding your diet, perfectly within line with the Australian dietary guidelines after all your restrictive dieting and competing, and being a fitness model. So you're feeling pretty good after all that. A lot of information I know, been bombarded with. But,
I'm probably going to have some questions later, but that's all right. I think I've got the gist of it now.
Fantastic. So, awesome. All right, well, how about you fire away any questions that you have?
Yeah, so I'm only doing light cardio at the moment.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if I should be doing any more. Like, would you...
Yes, I recommend 30 minutes a day.
30 minutes,
30 minutes, and that doesn't have to be just on a treadmill. It could be playing basketball, going for a walk, playing with the kids.
Yeah.
So, and that's just being heart smart. Like,
I
know in the bodybuilding scene, it's a lot bit of a stigma with cardio. Like, no one likes to do cardio because, you know, apparently you lose your gains, you lose your muscle tissue. It doesn't work like that, really, but it is what it is. But
I do get out with the kids.
A
couple of times in the day.
Yeah,
okay,
100%.
that's good to know.
Any other questions?
So, with the BMI calculator, you said that I'm in a healthy range. I would probably have to revisit that after being on this new diet plan.
Yeah, absolutely.
And see how that goes.
Yeah. So with that, if we just come onto the computer here. So we go to the heartfoundation.org. I found that was the most predominantly best online calculator for your BMI. And click on BMI. Takes a second to bloody come up. There we go. So this is it here. And this is recommended by the Australian government as well. So you just come in here, you hit female, metric or imperial system. So You're 159 off memory, was it?
Yes.
159.
Memory.
Bang. 55, 56 kilos. Here we go. And we're going to go calculate your BMI. And then there's your range there.
Okay.
So it's very simple. So I'll send you the link along with the Ether Health website. You can have all this in the email after this consultation.
Okay.
And yeah, so it's very easy. And how BMI works, BMI compares your weight to your height. It's calculated by dividing your weight in kilograms by your height in meters squared. And that gives you this figure right here.
Yep.
And there's your healthy suggested weight ranges.
Right.
46.8 to 62.9 kilos. So you can help monitor yourself on that, which is fantastic. And just come to think of it, if you want some great meal ideas, to Eat for Health here. So to help you, like recipes and also some approved meal plans from the Australian Dietary Guidelines is actually on this Eat for Health website here.
Oh, cool.
And it has all these tips for eating healthy, labels, food recipes. Here we go. And these are things that you could, healthy recipes that are inside the Dietary Guidelines that you could introduce to yourself and to your family as well, and also meal plans that's approved by the guidelines. So
stuffed capsicums, yum.
Yeah, yeah. So that's all there for your perusal as well. So I definitely recommend to utilise this site.
Yeah.
It's definitely here for a reason, and yeah. So definitely, don't be afraid to get on there. You can even put the husband's BMI in and show him around, and and so. Yeah, and this is lots of information on the food groups, how much energy do you need per day. So jump on and have a look. Too easy. And any more questions?
So with the weight training, because I'm going to be on sort of less proteins, I'm happy to sort of bring down my weight training a little bit and not strength train as much, because I sort of want to go easy on the joints now.
Sure.
So I think, do you think with lowering the protein, I probably will bring my muscle size down a little bit. Do you think that's not such a bad thing? Or?
No, look, I don't think you're necessarily going to lose muscle tissue, because any extra protein that you would have been having regardless would have been essentially converted into carbohydrates. It's easy to process. Glucogenesis, the conversion of amino acids into carbohydrates, glucose. But so essentially when you're having a lot of protein, that does happen because your body can help process it that way.
Okay.
But I wouldn't worry about that, because if you don't use something, so if you just stop training right now and just start eating 48 grams of protein, or 46 grams of protein per day, as the dietary guidelines recommend, you probably would lose muscle size. Because your body wants to maintain homeostasis at the easiest possible. Homeostasis is the easiest way for the body to live, essentially, to keep it alive. So, but if you're showing your body that you're utilising that muscle tissue, it will maintain it.
Okay.
So and you don't have to train 6 days a week, 3 hours a day, the people on YouTube and things like that. That's not how it is. Healthy exercise. I recommend 3 to 4 days a week.
Okay.
That's all you need. 3 days a week. Of 60 minutes. You know what I mean? 60 minutes on your 4% of your day.
Yeah. Okay.
And just utilising good compound movements.
Yeah.
And again, utilising it. So you have so much grains. So grains, carbohydrates is protein sparing. So more carbohydrates like grains and the carbohydrates from those servings of fruits that you get, and the 6 servings of grains. My God, bread. The whole grain crisp breads and crackers and things like that's protein sparing as well.
Okay.
So
that's good to know.
Good to know. Awesome. So there's.
Okay. What do you have any shopping tips? I've got to actually get my shop done really quickly. Get home.
Well, obviously, with the guidelines, you can see that they're not recommending 2-minute noodles, bits and pieces like that. You know what I mean? So essentially, what I'm saying is all the food is very clean, very healthy. Like all your whole grains, your lean proteins, and your dairy and that. If you look in a shopping centre, all of your lean meats, vegetables, fresh fruits, and all that is on the outside of the shop. I don't know if you ever noticed that. And all packaged items, all the sugar, the chips, all the way down, all the ingredients for baking, and that is all through the centre.
Yeah.
All the canned food, high sodium food. So essentially, I think if you're going to stick on the outside, do a loop, do your shopping that way, and it saves a lot of people sort of go in through up and down,
Yeah.
and through each aisle, and just stay out of all those alternative aisles like you don't really need.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
a good point. Actually.
good point there, and
Yeah.
just prepare.
Okay.
Just have a shopping list, right? I need X amount of chicken, X amount of beef, X amount of green vegetables, sweet potatoes, and instead of sort of people just sort of walk through willy-nilly,
Yeah.
no, I need this, I need that, I need the chips, I need the chocolate over here, and then like this. So
I've got to write that list every time.
Yeah.
Because I do tend to go in and go, "Oh, what do I need again?"
yeah,
Just grab anything.
yeah. That's all right. Yeah, but no, awesome. Okay, well then, well, that concludes that. If I've answered everything for you here today.
Yeah, I think so.
All right, fantastic. Well, I'm going to put everything into an email for you.
Okay.
And if you would like to see a dietitian, I can also write you a referral, so you can get like a prescribed meal plan specifically for you. That's out of my scope of practice in accordance with the Australian Dietary Guidelines.
Okay.
And everything will be put into an email, and then I'd like to rebook you in a month's time and to just check over everything, see how you're going,
Yeah.
and we'll go from there.
Well, I'm happy to start following, the guidelines, what you've suggested, and then see how I go. And if that doesn't work for me or something's not going right, then maybe the allied health could help.
Okay.
But yeah, I'm happy to see how we go.
Awesome. All right, man. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
And I'll see you next month.
Yes, definitely.
G'day, Iqbal. How are you, mate?
Good, thanks. Yeah.
Hey, so,
Iqbal, and what's yours?
Zach. So, I am going to be your nutritional advisor today and try and help you, give you good nutritional advice inside the Australian Dietary Guidelines. If you have any questions outside my scope of practice, I'll refer you to an allied health professional, i.e. being a dietitian, and they should be able to sort you out there.
Yeah, I need it.
Anyway, well, mate, so just tell me a little bit about yourself. So what do you do for a job?
Well, I work as a supervisor in a club.
Yep.
Yeah.
Cool.
And I supervise things for clients' safety and make sure the business runs smoothly.
Yeah. Nice, man. Yeah. And would you say your role is like active? Would you say you exert like a lot of energy through the day, or?
Yeah, I do actually.
Yeah,
I spend a lot of energy. I go around, check places for safety and do the safety walks and do a little bit of clientele retention and all these things.
Yeah, nice, man. Nice, that's good. And how are you around the house? Are you quite active at home as well?
Yes. I'm very active. I like to keep my home nice and tidy.
Yeah.
Help around sometimes in the kitchen, or mostly I do gardening.
Okay, nice.
So I do gardening, so I keep active.
Yeah. Is it a big garden? Is it like
a fairly medium size?
Yeah.
Gardening, and then I try to tidy up all the time, so I make sure I'm fit as well.
Yeah, definitely. That's fantastic. And do you do any like extracurricular sort of like training or anything? Or,
I do here and there a little bit of training myself. I got a little space in the garage.
Yep.
So I do some stretching and a little bit of exercise with dumbbells, kettlebells.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's all. Yeah, at my age,
Yeah.
just keep fit.
Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Yeah, it's really important for muscle retention and bone density and things, especially as we get older, as things can start to deteriorate. So if we don't use it, we lose it. So
exactly.
So no, that's really good. Sound like you're keeping pretty fit.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I try to.
Yeah, awesome.
Thank you.
So Iqbal, we're just going to go through your screening here that we did on the phone, just to double check. So you're 62 years old.
Correct.
Yep. You're a supervisor of a club / gym.
Yep.
You're 63 kilograms,
I
approximately.
am at the moment.
Yep.
Approximately, yeah.
Yeah. Possibly you might put on a few kilos after your daughter's wedding, mate.
Yeah. Actually, I want to put on, if I want, another 2 kilo, but stay fit as well.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. That's very, very easily done. You're 167 centimetres?
Around that, yeah.
Around that? Yeah.
Around that, yeah.
Perfect. Well, prior to this, with your details here, I was able to put your BMI calculations at 22.2. So you're right smack bang in the healthy range for a male of your age.
That's a good news.
It's very, very good news.
That's
So that's unreal. So, and here's the healthy weight ranges for you. So you're 63 kilos. The healthy weight ranges for a male, 62 years old, is 51.6 kilograms to 69.4. So you actually have quite a leeway here.
So I could be anything up from 63.
Yeah, 100%. So you could be 64, 65, up to 69 essentially, and still be within the healthy range
Good
of
to know.
your BMI. So that's fantastic. Now, I just wanted to go over your goal here. So your goal is to essentially adjust your diet and bring it in lines with the Australian dietary guidelines. Obviously, it's going to help improve your health and things and get the adequate nutrients that we should be getting. And also to implement this through Ramadan.
Yeah.
Because you're a Muslim.
Yes.
Fantastic.
I told you before. Yeah.
Told me before, yeah. So, do you want to give me a bit of information about like your religion and Ramadan and how it all works?
Yeah. So it's one of our pillars.
Yep.
Islam is on 5 pillars. It's one of the pillars that build Islam.
Sure.
So we must fast during that holy month.
Yep.
Ramadan.
Yep.
So it goes like from sunrise to sunset.
Mm.
We shouldn't eat.
Mm.
As soon as the sun come up, we stop eating.
Yep.
And then until the sun goes down, we don't eat. And when the sun goes down, we eat first, open our fast, eat with eating all the healthy things, and then we pray a little bit. That's it. So we do it every day for 30 days.
30 days, yeah. And is there a specific month that this happens?
Yeah, it is a specific month every year.
Yeah.
So luckily in Australia, in Sydney, it always comes around August, September, mostly October, so we are lucky. The days are shorter.
Oh, okay. That's good.
Yeah.
So does it actually change? Ramadan, like the month
Well,
can
it
change
changes a little bit.
a little bit, yeah.
According to the lunar calendar or something.
Yeah,
So it
sure.
changes, Yeah.
Wow.
But it stays in shorter days, lucky in Australia.
Yeah. That's actually really fascinating.
It's about approximately 10 hours.
Okay, yeah.
Some other country does 15 hours.
15 hours, yeah.
Summer.
God, you'd hate to be in,
No.
what's that, like Iceland or something
Yeah,
where they
yeah,
had 16-hour
yeah.
days.
Yep, exactly.
That would be not good. So,
Exactly.
so just explain, so with the fast, you can't consume foods or liquids, so you can't have water and hydrate.
Nothing at all.
Nothing at all.
Stop eating and stop drinking.
Yep.
Totally.
Yep.
So that is very, very strict. I often think it's a bit dangerous, but people have been doing for thousands of years.
Yeah, sure,
So
absolutely.
in good faith,
Absolutely.
and nothing happens to them. So I'm no exception.
Yeah. Hey, that's it's actually quite fascinating that you guys can do that. So, would you do, when this time of the month there's like productivity with people go down? Do people try to do it on their holidays, for instance? Like I'd imagine working all day without eating or drinking would be hard on the body.
It would be hard on the body.
Physiologically,
It is.
yeah.
But it's a sacrifice that we
It's a
do.
sacrifice that you do.
And we do the normal activities, but stay calm a little bit.
Yeah.
One thing it does for sure is it makes us a little bit subdued in a way, in a nice way, that we're not aggressive with people, we don't hurt people, we do a lot of charities. And when you don't take food for a few hours and no drink, you already, like subdued, so you're not aggressive. That's I find it very good.
Yeah,
No aggressive mood to anyone.
That's really
I find it very
that's
good.
fascinating.
Calming.
Yeah.
And you get into generous mode of charity and all this. Yeah.
Absolutely. That's just really good to get some information about that.
Yeah.
Now, what's your weight through Ramadan? Does it fluctuate? Do you have like rapid fluctuations when you're only eating parts of the day of the month?
It's not rapid, but gradually through the month, I find I'm actually 2 kilos down.
2 kilos down. Okay. So it's not
It's
too
bad.
much. Yeah.
2 kilos down,
Yeah.
and then we slowly gain it back.
Yep. Easy. And so, what would your diet? 2 questions here, sort of on. What would your diet? Does your diet look the same on a normal day as opposed to Ramadan? Would you eat more special foods on Ramadan?
We do actually try to eat special.
Okay. Yeah.
During that month, we eat a lot of healthy things.
Yep.
like when we open, start the fast, break the fast and open, start eating,
Yep.
we eat a lot of fresh food and fresh fruit and veggies and a lot of for dinner legumes and what we've been missing, potassium, calcium, iron, carbohydrates.
Yeah,
all
sure,
these
sure,
things
sure.
we take into account.
Yeah,
Take
yeah,
some sugary sweets as well.
yeah.
All balanced.
Yep.
We try to do that, but a lot of fruits, but definitely strawberry, apple, blueberries, all these kind of kiwis.
Yeah. Wow, that's actually really fascinating.
Yeah.
And so with your diet, say outside of Ramadan, so does it replicate that as well? It's still very similar to sort of
Still similar.
still quite similar.
Yeah,
you haven't
but we
really changed it?
celebrate when we open the fast. Sun goes down.
Yep.
There will be some special food there
Mm.
to celebrate the sacrifice that
Yep.
we've done for this day.
That makes sense. Yeah.
Special food. My wife's created some special food.
Yep.
Traditional Ramadan food.
Wow, that's fantastic. And you obviously living in being of the Islamic faith,
Yeah.
living in a westernised country.
Yeah.
Good old Australia here.
Yeah.
Do you tend to eat more things like that you're used to from home, or do you pretty much eat like a more westernised sort of diet at home?
Well,
Like,
no,
is it
we
just-
mix it up. Yeah.
You mix it up.
Mix it up.
Yeah.
We have our traditional food, we cook it, and we have some Australian food as well. We mix it up.
Yeah, fantastic.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Do you,
But only one thing I must note, to be honest.
Yeah.
It has to be like halal.
Yes,
Halal
yes.
halal is a good point you'll want to know.
Yep.
Is that the animal, the meat I'm
Mm.
talking, no
Mm.
veggies, no fish,
Mm.
only the meat. The animal has to sacrifice in the name of God. That's halal.
Wow. Okay.
When it's sacrificed in the butchery or whatever they do in the farm,
Yep.
they have to name God. That God, thank you for providing us the food that you provided us for our sustenance. In your name, we are sacrificing the animal. We can consume. Yeah.
That's okay. It's fascinating. And with halal approved,
Yeah.
does that come down into like sweets and things as well? Because I think I
Yeah.
once saw a block of
Yeah.
chocolate
Yeah,
that
yeah,
said
yeah.
it's halal approved.
Yeah, there are some numbers, specific numbers.
Yep.
So those if it stays within those serial numbers, 4 digit numbers,
Mm.
then it's halal. There are charts that we follow.
Wow. Okay. That's fascinating.
Yeah.
Really fascinating. Well, thank you very much for that information.
No worries. at all.
That's awesome. So what we're going to do now, we're going to get on and do a food diary of
That'd
say
be
the
awesome.
last 24 hours.
I need that.
And just sort of servings.
Yep.
And we'll go from there. So, Iqbal, so with the food diary, we're going to do a diary on, say, the serving sizes of what you consume in a day in the last 24
Yep, that'll
hours,
be
just
good.
approximately.
Yep.
And then we're going to compare it with the Australian Dietary Guidelines, which is going to be very informative. So, with all this, what we're going to do here, if you just look at the computer, we're on the Eat for Health website, which is a place for the Australian Dietary Guidelines. It's all accessible for the public. So what I've done, I've gone into calculators and I've put average number of recommended serves per day.
Yep.
Just clicked on that. Then I've just put your details in. So you're a male, 62, was it?
Yep.
Yeah. 62 years old, you're not pregnant or breastfeeding. I neither of those. And then we just hit, it's strange how they still ask you that. But anyway, and then, yeah. So then it's going to have all your details here. So these are your recommended servings per day of vegetables, legume, beans, fruit, grains, whole grains, fibrous, lean meats, dairy, and discretionary items, which is like things like spreads and things, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like if you have toast and have butter on it in the morning.
Yes.
So so what we'll do, so I've just written this down here on the diary already, Australian Dietary Guidelines,
Yeah.
what they recommend per serve. So we're going to sort of go through and just have a look. So sort of what you have in a 24-hour period. So I'll just ask you sort of thing. So vegetables, legumes, and beans. How many serves a day would you approximately have, just off the top of your head?
Vegetables, yeah, sometimes twice.
Twice a day?
Mostly at least once a day.
Yeah.
And if you take legumes in part of a vegetable thing, so some of the legumes they have vegetables. So we have both. So there'll be
Sure thing. So two to three servings a day.
2 to 3 servings. Yep.
What, two,
Beans.
3 servings? Yep.
All the
Perfect.
beans.
How many servings of fruit would you have?
Well, I try to have 2.
2 a day? Perfect.
Is that alright?
Yeah, it's fantastic. What type of fruit have you been having?
Well, when I go home, I have an apple
Okay.
midday, and then mid-afternoon, and I have a banana every morning.
Perfect.
So 1 apple
Yep.
later on.
Yep. That's good. Now, grains, whole grains, cereals, things like that.
That's the one thing I don't have much time early in the morning, but
Yep.
I try to make it in the night before
Sure
and then
thing.
heat it up.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
Nice.
cereal.
Cereal, yeah.
Yeah,
So,
cereal.
on average, would you say 1, 2, 3 servings a day, or
Someday I miss, but I at least have 3.
3 servings of grains? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. And that could be like breads and things
Yeah.
like that. Yeah.
Whole
So
grain.
yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
like Helga's light rice.
Yeah, perfect. I love that, Ryan. How good is it? Yeah. Awesome. Now, meat, poultry, fish, nuts, eggs, legumes, and beans. So, hypothetically,
I have plenty of them.
Plenty of that.
Chicken breast, I love chicken breast. I have chicken breast almost alternative day, and
Yep.
then sometimes with stir fry beef,
Yep.
lean beef,
Yep.
stir fry. Sometimes have egg almost every day.
Perfect.
1 egg, is that all?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
1 egg
Of course,
every day.
100%.
And then I have mixed nuts for snacks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So, how many serves a day would you, off the top of your head?
Like what? Meat.
Just in total, say meat,
I
meat, nuts, eggs.
think nuts I have twice,
Yep.
handful, but meat maybe twice a day.
Okay, so we say it's altogether about four servings a day.
Yeah. And rice, included some rice.
Oh, okay, cool. We'll put that down in the grains here.
Oh
so
yeah,
we'll
yeah.
even
I have
that
some
up.
rice as well
Yeah, love
to
rice.
go with that. Yeah.
Any particular? You sort into your basmati or
Basmati. We
Yeah,
use
basmati.
basmati.
How good is basmati? Yeah,
Basmati.
fantastic. Now dairy.
Dairy, I have only a glass of milk before bedtime. That's it.
Yeah. So
I
one
confess.
serve.
Once before bedtime.
Yeah.
Warm milk before bedtime.
Warm milk. Yeah, sure.
I've been
sure.
doing that for many years, so that puts me to sleep.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, that's fantastic. And so you don't have any like milk in your teas or anything like that? Or-
Occasionally, yeah. And another thing,
Yeah.
dairy, I have cheese with some biscuits, like spread.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
Philadelphia?
That would be a serve. Yeah, Philadelphia, 100%. So
Yeah.
we could either say you're probably having two
Yeah.
and a half servings a day.
And feta cheese, Greek feta.
Yeah, perfect.
I have
Okay.
sometimes with salad.
I would say you're probably having about
Yeah.
2.5 servings a day. And so discretionary items. So do you have anything like that, like butters and spreads, or say like
What do you mean, like things
Like-
I shouldn't have? Or
yeah,
no?
almost yeah. So things you should have a
Like
list of.
indulging things.
Yeah, almost like Nutella, like chocolate spread on
Okay,
some
I
bread.
have chocolates every night.
Every
That's
night.
true. I have
Yeah.
chocolate, 2 bar or 3 bar of chocolate every night.
Yeah, and that's okay because you can have up to 2.5 a day. So
Yeah.
you say two
Yeah.
servings or something.
2
Two
chocolate
servings
every
That's
night after dinner.
Fantastic.
And then during the day we have some Indian sweets.
Yep.
If I something left in the fridge, I will just
Knock it back.
snack it.
Yeah, sure thing. Well, look, you're in accordance with the Australian Dietary Guidelines, your diet is not too far off, like meeting the standards.
Yeah.
So, which is good because the guidelines are there for our ultimate health. You know what I mean? Like making sure that we're receiving the nutrients and the sufficient energy that we need to do day-to-day things on a national sort of base.
Yes.
So, if we look here. So we'll start off with vegetables, legumes,
Yeah.
and beans. So you're having about 2 to 3 servings a day.
Yep.
The Australian Dietary Guidelines actually recommend that you should be having 5
Wow.
a day. So we should increase this.
So yeah, veggies and legumes.
Yeah, 100%. So
Increase.
yeah, definitely. So I'll just write it down here.
Yep,
Increase.
that'll be good for me to know.
And I'll give you some ideas in a minute. Yeah.
Yep.
What to have. Cool. Increase. Yep. And then, so your fruit
Yep.
is on point, which is
On
really
point.
perfect. So
Yep.
fruit's perfectly fine.
At least 2 a day.
2 a day, yeah, perfect. And that's what the Australian Dietary Guidelines
Yeah.
recommend. And then grains, cereals, whole grains,
Yeah.
things like bread. So you're having 4 a day at this point. The guidelines actually recommend to have
servings.
6. So yeah, and this is actually you're sort of increasing your caloric intake here as well. So this is actually going to help you put a bit more weight.
Increase.
100%.
Maybe I can have some steamed or boiled sweet potatoes and all this. Yeah?
Look, yeah, 100%. Yeah, I'd more like try and keep variety in your diet as well, which is very important. So then we have like obviously your basmati rice. You can do some whole grain bread, some crisp breads,
Fibers.
Yeah, 100%. Some fiberistic things. You can get some whole grain like rice crackers and stuff like that. They're fantastic, man. So yeah, so essentially you've got some room to move. So we need to increase this by 2 servings per day.
Right.
So increase. So we need to increase grains as well.
Grains. Yep.
I'll give you some ideas afterwards. Meat, poultry, fish, nuts, eggs, and beans. So you're a bit of a fan of these by the looks of it. So you're eating 1.5 servings more than the allocated amount.
I'm a little bit
per
of
day.
carnivore.
Yeah. Which I think is typical bloke, mate. Like we love meat.
Yeah.
So the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend 2.5 per day, and you're eating 1.5 over. But like that's okay. Like this isn't here to make us panic or think we're doing the wrong thing. This is just a tool so we can start to fit our diet into line with the dietary guidelines. So essentially we want to drop these back slightly. So this means that but you think you can increase your vegetables, your legumes, beans, and grains, whole grains, and things. So you have a lot more for 100%. And this is just to bring your diet in line. So essentially, we want to decrease these to 2 times a day. 2.5 times a day.
Easy.
And then, but at the same time, we are increasing over here. So essentially, you're still going to feel full. No, 100%. And this should also be less meal prep as well, maybe a little bit less cooking. Because meat's one of those things we've always had to cook.
They need to be
cooked and prepared, and so.
Yeah, that's fine.
Whereas making, say, another sandwich or something, using another couple of servings of your whole grains.
And veggies,
And veggies.
Salad
takes 2 seconds, Perfect. So, awesome. So, we'll leave these here.
Yep.
And we look at dairy here. Dairy pretty much on point. On point, which is really good with the guidelines there, Australian Dietary Guidelines.
A glass about this big.
Yeah, perfect.
So I have it, bit heated up, and then
down you go.
Yeah.
That's really good with your dairy. In discretionary items, so you're having 2 per day, and you're completely allowed.
You're allowed?
Like as in like it's acceptable within the Australian Dietary Guidelines. So you can have 0 to 2.5 servings per day, which is fantastic.
Chocolate.
Yeah.
2 and 3, and then occasionally I love Oreo. You know Oreo?
Oh, Oreo, you dip it in the milk.
I dunk it in the milk. Oh,
perfect.
Melts.
Yeah, how good is it? So, look, this here is really, because I wouldn't even worry about it. So you can continue having your chocolates at night and mix it up a little bit of variety. Oreos is good. Obviously, it's something I don't want to be eating like all the time and making solely our diet. But as I said, like everything, I think the Australian Dietary Guidelines are designed to give everything in moderation, and like don't cut anything out of your diet sort of thing.
And mix it up.
100%, and it's all about variety. So so what we'll go over now is some ideas of foods that you could swap out or utilise. Because you have some extra food in here. We've taken a little bit of your lean meats and stuff away, which is fine. So increasing your vegetables. What sort of veggies do you like?
Mixed,
I
take
tomatoes.
Carrots. I love tomatoes.
Yeah.
Carrots, tomatoes, zucchini.
Perfect.
And cucumber.
Yep.
Also broccoli, cauliflower. Like that.
Fantastic.
Sweet potato also.
Yeah. Perfect. And just remember too, like if sometimes prepping is going to be a little bit hard, you can always get those like mad little Armacane bags, there's little microwave steam bags. You can even steam them in a pot, which is awesome. It's pre-done, pre-cut. They're just all they're done. They're just prepared for you. Throw them in the microwave. 1 minute, bang! You've got a serving of broccoli.
They are nicely done.
Perfect. So it's quick and easy. So people think, oh my god, I've got to chop up more veggies. But no, it's all about obviously
less time in the kitchen.
And
enjoy.
100%. So that's an idea with the vegetables there. Get in loads of variety and loads of colours. I like to think with like veggies and salads and things, try and make it as colourful as possible.
Good.
Um,
Coming to you benefits me because I'm gaining some knowledge about how to save time and have nutritious food.
It's good. Must be on something, right? It's good.
Yeah.
And so, like with grains, so you have more grains to eat as well. So obviously, so for your grains at the moment, you said you're eating like rice, and what else?
Basmati rice
Basmati rice.
Light rye bread.
Light rye bread, perfect.
Yeah.
So don't be afraid to venture into like different sort of whole grain breads and things. You got multi-grain breads,
Multi-grain.
oats. Perfect example. Oats in the morning for breakfast, I think, is everyone should start.
I have someday.
Yeah, perfect.
But it takes time to get ready.
Yeah. Things like, if you thought about other cereals, like you can get some really clean, like Special K cereals now, things like that have no added sugar and things, which is awesome.
I used to, a long time ago, I used to consume the Nutrigrain,
Oh, Nutrigrain's delicious. A lot of sugar in it, but
then I realized it's a lot of sugar.
Yeah, a lot of sugar. Like
I give it up long time.
Yeah. It's quite shocking. I think Nutrigrain does get 4 stars on the health chart or something, but it's.
I don't know. I used to carry it in my pocket.
Yeah, it's good. It tastes good just on its own, doesn't it? But honestly, I'd definitely keep that to a minimal. Like, definitely. They look for things that don't have any added sugar.
Special K we use something.
Yeah, Special K is good.
Nuts and fruits, dried fruits.
Yeah. So that's perfect. And just staying within the servings amount. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, and it's giving you variety, which is good. So well, that's fantastic. So there's a couple of ideas there, and we want to come over grains. Yeah, that's essentially that, man. So just about variety. And it's another one thing with your meat. So just to save you a bit more time in the kitchen as well, instead of obviously cooking up. Do you enjoy things like canned tuna and canned sardines?
Yeah. Oh, I forgot to tell you.
Yeah.
I have almost 1 can of tuna every day.
Perfect.
In my work.
Yeah, sure.
Like a quick snack.
Yeah, good.
And an avocado.
Avocado, delicious.
Mix it together.
That's very healthy. And with that, you're just making sure that you steer clear of like the sweet chilies and things like that because it's just so much sugar in them. Like, what sort of flavour do you go, like the plain or in the seawater?
The tuna.
Yeah, the tuna. You know how you get the tuna?
I use the one with the blend with the olive oil blend.
Perfect. Yeah, good fats.
Olive oil blend and another one called Sirena.
Yeah.
Sirena.
Yeah, perfect.
Sometimes I use John West.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah, nice. That's good. But it sounds like, in regards to the Australian dietary guidelines, you're on track. You haven't derailed the train, which is fantastic.
Yeah.
So like you are looking after yourself.
Yeah.
Which is good. And there's just minor improvements here that I've written down.
Yeah.
Look, I'll also send you an email after this, and you're gonna have everything in dot points with ideas of utilising your more vegetable sources and carb sources and ideas on how to sort of reduce your meats and things.
Yeah.
So that's fantastic. All right, thanks, mate.
Thank you. All the best.
All right, Iqbal. So we've just gone through your food diary, servings, and how we can adjust it in accordance with the Australian dietary guidelines. And just remember that I'm going to give you an email of everything as well.
Yep.
So now I know you have a couple of questions for me, so I might as well fire them away. So you wanted to know before, how often should you eat?
Yes. How often? Because I'm really confused by different ideas.
Yeah.
From people.
Yeah, sure. Look, honestly, you can see a lot. Like, it depends. You can Google it. You'll get a million different answers. Everyone's an expert, and you know what? The way I like to look at it is, you eat when you can eat.
When you require.
100%. So when you eat when you can eat. So a lot of people think, should I be eating every 3 hours, every 2 hours, every 6 hours?
Some people say 6 meals a day. Some people say only 3 hours.
100%. The best way I like to look at it is just you eat when you have time to eat. If you don't have time to eat, try and make time because your body needs to be energized. But everyone's schedule is different. So and people think, should I have 3 meals a day, 6 meals a day, 5 meals a day? Well, I like to look at it. I just tell people, have breakfast, have a morning tea, have lunch, have an afternoon tea, have dinner, have a healthy dessert. That's 6 meals a day.
So that's a guideline.
It's just a general guideline, but you don't have to follow that.
No.
As long as you're consuming good foods in accordance with the Australian dietary guidelines, and where you can do that, there's no problem because this will change for you essentially because your faith.
Yeah.
Ramadan, for instance.
Yeah, that is hard. 1 month we don't eat during the day.
Yeah.
But we can eat all night.
100%, and that's another good thing as well. So, because you were saying before, sometimes you're losing a little bit of weight through Ramadan, and sometimes you struggle getting food in.
Yeah.
Obviously, because you can't eat for so long.
Early morning. Yeah.
Early morning, yeah. So what I was thinking, would you be like, would it work for you to get up a little bit earlier, can try and consume an extra meal maybe
Good
in the morning,
food.
some good food, in line
Get you
with
through
the
the day.
guidelines, and definitely charge the body. Get maybe a litre of water. Or something, just
maybe
really
I
try
was
to
getting
hydrate.
how much water should I consume for the 10 hours that I fast? Maybe at least a liter.
At least a litre, I think, really, because you're not going to drink for so long. I think anything more than that, definitely don't scull it at once. You make yourself sick. But definitely, within a couple of hours,
during the night.
have and just refresh that.
And I found that unique thing in Ramadan that doesn't matter how much I drink, it's totally absorbed in my body, and I don't have to go to the bathroom that much in Ramadan.
You save a lot of time, I reckon.
It absorbs.
Yeah.
The whole water just utilized by the body.
Yeah, that's good. That's good. So that's sort of essentially. I like to tell people eat when they can eat. You know what I mean? Because obviously, you can eat through the workday now, but when Ramadan comes along, and you have to eat early morning and late in the evening. So, but that's when you can eat. So you just have to work within your means.
That's it. I have to remember that.
Yeah, 100%. And you wanted to know before as well, preparing food.
Yeah.
So, how do you feel preparing food at the moment at home? Like, how's...
Well, we got our own routine. Sometimes I do prepare the dinner, or sometimes my wife does, sometimes my daughter does. So, what do you think best for
I think
our situation?
Yeah, I think...
Or my situation,
Yeah, look, depends. Do you like frozen food as well? Like,
not
or do you
really,
prefer... Because some people will cook all their meals on, like, the end of the week, for the next week, and put them all in the freezer.
Store away.
And then pull them out as they go. Like, I don't like frozen food personally. I don't think it tastes that
I don't also like... But what we do is we cook a bulk and then put it into containers for each of us to grab. When I come here, I grab my one in my bag. My wife grabs her one, she goes, and my daughter grabs another container. So we prepare it.
That's actually really
on the
good
weekend.
System. Perfect. So that's actually good. That's sort of what I was going to recommend as well. Like preparing a couple of days ahead. Having all the food, you don't probably want to go longer than 3 days because chicken and things like that can go bad in the fridge when you change the form of it. But essentially, cooking 2 to 3 days in advance, having all in the fridge there, and then take it as you need it.
And sometimes we have fresh when we can, like stir fry.
Perfect.
Very fresh. Throw things together in a wok. Have it then and there.
Yeah. Sure.
And soup. Oh, another thing I forgot. We always have soup, some kind of soup. We make it a big soup or even packets, continental soup.
Perfect.
Is that all right? We have soup with pickles.
Look, hey, everything in moderation, you know what I mean? And it fits into the Australian
They have salt.
You're doing it right. Well, it's pretty much sodium in most things now. It's just about monitoring that. And actually, I'll go on to sodium very shortly. Awesome. And also, you were saying before you sort of like to eat out a little bit. Do you like?
We eat out a little bit on the weekend.
On the weekend, And how do you go with choices with eating out? Do you
we choose our own thing.
We
are 3 of us together. We choose our own thing. I love steaks. When I go out, I have a good portion of steak with lots of steamed veggies and some chips with aioli.
Perfect.
Indulgence.
Hey, that's right. You know what? Up to 2.5 servings, and that'll come under discretionary items, aioli. So that's perfect, man. Like, you're inside the guidelines there, and getting the steak and vegetables is a really good choice over. A lot of people would probably get the chicken schnitzel with the chips. You know what I mean?
Exactly. I do that, but my wife, she likes something else, like pasta or carbonara. All these things. Fettuccine, she likes that. My daughter likes seafood, so.
No, it's good, and it's always good. Family's eating a variety of things, but overall, it sounds like you guys eat really, really healthy. With a few little tweaks with the guidelines, guidelines.
I'll try to remember those.
100%. Well, we'll give you a copy for everything here. So,
that'll be fantastic.
And so how are you going with your weight training? Because you said you wanted to help put on a little bit of weight as well.
If I could. Especially during the Ramadan, I lose about 2 kilos at least.
Sure.
And it's hard for me to gain very quickly.
Yeah.
My body is like that. My
Mm.
diet, from my dad.
It's more of an ectomorph frame. Yeah.
It's
No, that's
genetic.
okay.
He is very slim. He was always slim, athletic, and I find it hard to put on. So how is the?
That's okay. So, well, essentially, is putting your body in a caloric surplus of nutrients, and so that's going to be very easily done here because you have a lot of extra food to play with. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So when you use things like, people think carbs and things are the enemy when it comes to like breads and whole grains. Well, that's not the case. Whole grains, like carbohydrates, are essentially protein sparing.
Yeah.
So essentially, you can have more free proteins in the blood for muscle synthesis, stuff a stimulus, which is really good. So yeah, look, honestly, if you were to weight train just a couple of days a week, you don't have to. We're not trying to be an Olympian here.
No.
A good amount of exercise would be 3 days a week, say 45-minute sessions.
At least 3 days.
Yeah, at least 3 days, like a
Lifts,
Monday,
weights.
Wednesday, Friday, so you've got a rest day between each.
Yeah.
Utilising compound lifts, there's no point just standing there doing a few arm
No,
curls.
but the whole body.
Just some good, some squatting, some deadlifting with correct form and a personal trainer. It's going to completely keep you intact. You know what I mean? Like people think, and increasing bone density and things is super important, especially when you're aging. Like you're 62 now, and so
that in future, when I'm 80, 70 plus, or 80,
all that work you put in now,
arthritis and all this doesn't come.
Yeah, or
degeneration.
Yeah, exactly right. You're trying to want to minimalise these things. So that's fantastic. So a couple of weight training sessions a week. Utilising YouTube and things with training is really good as well. Like
YouTube.
YouTube. I'm a visual learner. You can watch things.
That's a good point.
Yeah. So I get some ideas. But yeah, a couple of days a week, 3 days a week. Utilising your extra calories that you're going to get from your vegetables and your whole grains here. You'll definitely get some progress. And doing it over a good amount of time before Ramadan, prepare your body for Ramadan.
Yeah.
And then when you come into Ramadan, hopefully it should be a bit easier.
Exactly.
So that is fantastic. Thanks for that.
Thank you.
I've some really good questions before, mate. Yeah. So what I'd also like to show you as well, what's also important with the guidelines, if you come onto the Eat for Health website here, we can go onto nutrition calculators, and then we can actually calculate. See, this is where we found out your average recommended number of serves per day. We can also go to calculate your nutrient requirements, which is really, really interesting.
Yep.
So this is where we can get a specific number of how and what nutrients you should be receiving per day.
Yeah.
So age 62, and yes, show you my nutrient requirements. Now again, this is not to be something like OCD over.
Yeah.
But it's just good to understand what the body should be taking in per day, and sometimes everyone can't get this right.
Yeah.
But definitely, we want to try and utilise our diets essentially to make up these nutrients, and not so much be taking a pill for this and a tablet for that. And if you don't have to, obviously, if you have prescribed medication, it's something a lot different.
That's a different.
But if you can get your daily nutrient requirements from eating things, like say you're low on iron, you could be eating red meat for extra iron, or some silver beets and dark green vegetables and things, just hypothetically, and actually increase your iron. So your iron levels are supposed to be 8 milligrams per day.
Yeah.
And this is this is an approximate thing. And don't worry if you figure you might be getting a little bit more or something. It's just good to just keep an eye on it. Your protein requirements, 64 grams per day. Your fluids. I think you said something, you probably don't drink as much water as you should.
No.
So you should be drinking about 2.6 litres per day.
Per day?
Yeah. According to the...
I drink only half, maybe.
Half that. So there's probably something you can also look at as well. Another option is, what I like to do is have a 1 litre bottle at work.
Yep.
And it's like a little game in my head. I will try and drink that, 2.5 times. 3 times through the day. So I prefer a little bit more water. I feel like I need about 3 litres personally. But Australian dietary guidelines do recommend that you should be getting about 2.6 a day. So
you're a big man, so you need more.
Yeah, I sometimes feel like I need a bit more water. And because I train 2 hours a day as well, so I might consume a bit more.
Sweet.
Yeah. But for you to increase that, I think...
carry a bottle.
carry a bottle. Just if you got it with you, we just sort of instinctively like take a swig every say 15 minutes or something, 20 minutes, and just think, oh, I haven't had a little swig, and just sort of wet the palate, and that by the time you'll get through 2 litres in a day, 2.5 litres a day. So it's more or less just having it on you, and also you can include your green teas and things like.
Okay, yeah.
That's it's not green tea's not gonna dehydrate you. So like if you're gonna have a coffee, I wouldn't count that fluid because caffeine dehydrates the body.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Green tea doesn't dehydrate.
No, and it's full of antioxidants, man. So,
yeah.
So perfect. So so this is just something really interesting to look at. You can use a calorie tracker on your phone called MyFitnessPal. It's really, it's really, and so just keep it in. There's a thing called MyFitnessPal. You can essentially track all your calories and your macronutrients, micronutrients on there. I think it's something good to just make a bit of a food diary on over time, not to be compulsive and get obsessive about what you're eating and that, but just keeping track and see if you're getting your nutrients in the day, which is very important, you know what I mean? So, because your diet should be in accordance with the Australian Dietary Guidelines, then making up the nutrients, the daily requirements. So, it's just something really, really good to look at.
Very good.
And another good thing on here is understanding your energy balance.
Yep.
And if we come in here, calculate your daily energy needs.
Yep.
So you're a male, age 62 years old.
Yep.
Weight, what was that, 63 kilos?
62.
63,
Yeah.
Physical activity, you're quite active, so I would say moderately active, predominantly standing, walking. 100%, that's definitely you. And we'll show you energy requirements, and this is another good tool to get your energy requirements in here. So you should be looking at around 9,983 kilojoules per day.
Yeah.
Now, I don't like using kilojoules, it's a personal thing, so I have to use calories. So there's 4 kilojoules to 1 calorie. So we go 9,983 divided by 4. So you should be eating around 2,409 90 calories per day, which is quite a substantial diet. So, definitely. And you'll be able to get that from essentially increasing your whole grains and things like that. So, that's really, really, really good. Now, on top of this, one last thing. It's really important for you to keep track of your BMI, which is good. So this is the approved calculator that I use. This is the heartfoundation.org.au, the Australian Heart Foundation. So this is the BMI, obviously advertising Healthy Hearts.
Yeah.
So what you do here, put in your your male, metric system's easy, 67, 167 centimetres, 62 kilos height, calculate BMI, bang. So 22.2, so this is how I got that before, in your healthy weight range between 51 and 69 kilograms, and you're 63, so you're straight back in the middle, pretty much. It's perfect, you're literally in the middle of the healthy weight range. So, and just how it works here is really easy. BMI compares height and your weight, and it's calculated by dividing your weight in kilograms by your height in meters squared. So that gives you that number. So, it's something, just a good tool for you to refer to, and just keeping track, keeping your diet in line and making sure your weight and your BMI is in line as well, because we want to be in those healthy ranges, optimize longevity, which is really, really, really good.
Very good.
So, that's fantastic there. And one last thing as well, if you want to improve, there's actual meal plans on eatforhealth.gov.au that are there and approved by the Australian Dietary Guidelines that you can utilise if you feel like it, and actual healthy recipes as well. So you can utilise those, and it's all on here. This will be put into an email for you.
That'll be good.
100%. Alright, Bo, just another thing I wanted to throw in here is making sure you can read a nutrition label comfortably. So this is the nutritional information part of the packaging here. So this is just a packet of rice cakes. So easy to read down. So if you look at per serving and per 100 grams, so sometimes people get this confused, right? It's more or less like, say, with a packet of chips. Someone will eat a small packet of chips and think, oh yeah, it's only X amount, 150 calories or something.
Yeah.
They don't realise that small packet of chips is actually 3.6 servings or something, and they just consume 600 calories in this little thing.
Yeah.
So what we do here is come down per serving. We have a look in here. So a serving size is 3 slices, so 18 grams.
Yeah.
Per serving, per 3 slices, we're looking at 70 calories.
Yeah.
Fat, 0.6 grams. And it comes into saturated, 0 trans fats. Carbohydrates, 13 grams, which is awesome. And 0.13 of sugar. So that's hardly anything, man. So coming in dietary fibers, 1.2 grams. Proteins, 1.9 grams. And salt, or sodium, is 40 milligrams. So that's the easiest way just to sort of depict it and read down. And if you come over here, this side here, people always get confused per serving per 100 grams. This is just per 100 gram quantity. So 100 grams of this is 388 calories. Actually, what size is the packet? Packet's at 150 grams.
50 grams.
So you're so that's so everything you see on a nutrition label will be per serve, and on the same other side will be per 100 grams, and that's on every product.
Yeah.
So, and then the same thing, you just read down straight from there again. 3 grams of fat, 72 grams of carbohydrates, and you just read down the label. It's very, very, very simple. So, and then you can come down the bottom here and actually use and look at the ingredients. So we've got maize, 78%, brown rice, buckwheat, millet, sunflower.
What it is
oil.
made up of.
Essentially, yeah. So, and that's as simple as that. So,
how important is to read the nutrition?
Yeah, quite important, because there's two types of. I like to look at it as 2 types of food. We have nutritionally dense food, which is the food we want to be eating, and then there's energy dense food, which is okay every now and then. What do I mean by nutritionally dense and energy dense? Energy dense is something, say, hypothetically, like a cheeseburger from McDonald's. That's an energy dense, food. And nutritionally dense is something that's packed full of vitamins and nutrients, and is not going to be full of calories. 100%.
Like the fast food.
Yeah, 100%. So
it is important.
It's very important
to pick the right thing.
Yeah, 100%, man. And if you get more like nutritionally dense foods and things, like a lot of people like to feel full after eating. So the best thing for that, a lot of people sort of like to feel the gastric stretch. Do you understand what that is? So that that satisfaction of after you've eaten something and your stomach's full. That's sort of that. So if you can do more voluminous fibristic foods and things like that for nutrients, that's essentially the way to go.
Feeds the body for longer.
Yeah, 100%. So so that's one of the. So it's essentially it's very, very, very important. To read the label, especially if you're unsure on things, because there's so many hidden things nowadays, especially when say kids got packaged like snacks and things, or your roll-ups that they say this is made out of real fruit, and it's it's like 0.1%, real fruit, and the rest is just like sugar. Corn syrup is huge. Corn syrup is in everything. So that's another huge one to look out for.
Good.
And so it's just something to keep your eye out and open for. So you're comfortable to read that? Are you able to just read down the label there? So,
I can actually.
Yeah.
It says the average quantity per serving and per 100 grams.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah. And then says how much energy is there.
Yep.
Per serving, and how much fat, and for example, how much carbohydrate. Yeah,
awesome.
13.0, and then per gram, 100 gram is 72.1 gram.
Yeah, easy.
Fine. And then dietary fiber, which is important. Protein, which we need.
Perfect.
Salt, we should always watch.
100%. And we'll harden up those arteries too much.
Yeah.
That's really good, man. And so if you look at this, so like we've got 3 of these slices is 1 serving.
Yeah.
So from yesterday, you were eating you needed to eat an extra 2 servings of grains and whole grains.
Yeah.
From today. And so essentially you can have 6 slices of these as an extra 2 servings.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Which is awesome. And you also had some discretionary items left over as well, discretionary servings. So you could even put on some spread or something on there.
Yeah.
So that's where you can still make up those calories.
What brand is this on?
This is This is Stins, I
Stins,
think.
Stins.
Yeah, there we go. So that's essentially that, man. So, yeah.
That'll be
It's good that you have an understanding of that. Now, and another thing here too, normally they have these little labels here. This isn't the nutrition label, but this is just some good information here. You know, 23 calories per slice, 7 grams of dietary fibre, 7% of your dietary fibre, gluten free, no GMOs. So
some people can't tolerate gluten.
Yeah, 100%, 100%. And it's always good. Try and buy Australian made and owned if you can. Support everyone over here. But it's awesome. That's all in accordance with the Australian Dietary Guidelines. So, yeah, too easy. All right, thanks, Iqbal.
Thank you.
All right, Iqbal. So, I just wanted to make sure that we've covered everything here today. So, we have gone over helping align your meal plan, your current diet, in line with the Australian Dietary Guidelines. Are you feeling happy with that?
Yes, I will benefit from this. Definitely.
Perfect.
A lot of things that we don't take into account seriously.
100%. That's really good. And just going over as well, so some of the adjustments that we made with your food diary and some of the alternative things that you could be eating, some other choices of whole grains and vegetables, beans and legumes where you're sort of falling short. You're feeling quite happy to utilise other things like that? Awesome, fantastic. And just the advice I've given you around food preparation and Ramadan, eating around Ramadan, preparing your body. Are you feeling like you've taken something away from this?
I think so. Yeah, definitely. Next time around, I'll be more prepared to face the fasting month and all this, and keep myself healthy and eating nutritious foods and healthy.
Yeah, perfect.
Definitely, I'll be better equipped. Thank you so much.
No, it's awesome. Awesome. Well, what I'm going to do, I'm going to prepare everything into a email for you. This will be all sent to you. If you had any questions, if you had any concerns or anything like that, say, I can refer you to an allied health professional.
That'll be excellent.
So that's easy. And so essentially I'm going to email this. I'd like to book in another appointment for a month, and then we can use this data here
and
the data we got there, and we can see how you're going with aligning your meal plan with the Australian Dietary Guidelines.
Thanks for your help.
Awesome. All right, Iqbal, thank you very much, mate.
And you too. All the best.
Thanks. Thank you very much.
I'm looking forward to that. Thank you.
Awesome. Cheers. Hello, Felicity.
Hi.
How are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good, thank you. My name is Zach, and I am going to be your nutrition advisor today. My role as nutritional advisor is to provide dietary advice in accordance with the Australian Dietary Guidelines. Any other advice outside of that scope is not within my scope of practice, and I will refer you to an allied health professional who can give you that guidance, either being a nutritionist or a dietitian. How does that sound with you, Felicity?
Sounds great. Thanks, Zach.
So, Felicity, before we get onto your nutritional screening, I just want to go through a few things about your personal life, essentially. So, like what you do as a job. So, you just give me a rundown of what your roles are and what you do for a living.
So, I'm a registered nurse. I'm also a pro bikini model. I do competitive shows. And I'm a personal trainer as well.
Wow, so you have a very, very busy lifestyle. So what would you do? Would you say you're like is being a nurse an active role? Like, is it sort of behind a desk essentially, or is it?
My role is quite physical, I suppose. I am on my feet a lot of the day, looking after patients.
Oh, wow, okay. And tell me about this professional fitness modelling. Is it competitions you do, or photo shoots, or like what exactly?
Competitions mainly. I do photo shoots around, when I do the competitions as well. It was something that I got into quite a few years ago now, and have just continued completely hooked on it.
Yeah.
And having a little bit of a rest at the moment, but looking forward to getting on the stage again sometime in the near future.
Wow, that's fantastic. And so with the fitness modelling, obviously there's an element of physical training involved. What sort of training is it?
Majority weight training. I'm doing that about 4 to 5 times a week.
Oh wow! And what type of weight training are you into? Like, is it like Olympic lifting or hypertrophy sort of training? Like,
I like doing the Olympic style lifting. That's something that's evolved over time. When I first started, it was quite sort of baby weights and things, not really knowing what I was doing.
yeah.
And then it's evolved into doing those much bigger lifts, and I've seen a big change in my body and my strength through that.
Wow, that's fantastic. And is there a cardio component to that?
There used to be, not so much anymore. Now we've increased my weight training and being able to manipulate my body a lot more that way.
Yeah.
I have actually dropped the cardio off completely.
Oh wow, okay, that's quite impressive. I think personally there's always a good element to keep some form of cardio in there. Because obviously, like with weight training, increases blood pressure, and cardiovascular training decreases blood pressure. So I think at some point it'd be good to keep an element of that over time. But yeah, it's an impressive resume anyway from a personal standpoint. So Felicity, I just would like to go over our screening call we did previously, just to make sure everything's correct here, and maybe elaborate on some of the information that I have. So, just going over, you're 28 years old, perfect. You're 56 kilos approximately. And with this, I was able to determine your BMI was 18.3. So that has just put you in the underweight category, something that I might have expected from the professional fitness modelling. A healthy weight range for you has been calculated to be 56.7 kilos to 76.3. So you're nearly there. So that's okay. We'll get you there. So your goals. I just want to go over your goals. Your goals are to put on some lean body mass after all your competitive shows, to help bring up your BMI into the healthy range on the scale, and to modify your diet so it's to meet the Australian dietary guidelines after periods of restrictive dieting, obviously with the fitness shows. So do you have any current concerns about the current way you have been eating? Or
obviously, as you mentioned, it is restrictive at times, and I'm just coming out of a period of back-to-back shows and at a point where I don't need to be as restrictive. Obviously, it can be a bit of a mental struggle coming out of that, and I do know that I need to start reintroducing certain food groups, particularly bringing up more fruit and vegetable intake in particular.
Oh, that's really good. When you said you have possibly a mental struggle, like it can be a bit of a mental struggle, do you think this is something that it concerns you a lot, as in like you would get anxiety to eat something that was out of your normal diet? Because if you do, we can always refer you to someone who can help you with that side of things, like a doctor or a psychologist or something. Because obviously when you do something for so long, sometimes it can, affect you mentally. So if you feel like, you do have a mental struggle with eating certain foods, I can refer you to a psychologist, as I said, and get that all sent to you. You can do that after this.
Okay, that's good to know.
Sounds okay? Okay, fantastic. And another thing, just your weight loss history. So, has that at all ever concerned you from just jumping between? I'd imagine you'd have a little bit of yo-yoing with your weight loss,
like a little bit. In the first couple of years, yes, I think I fluctuated between like 48 kilos and 60 kilos at one point.
Wow.
Which wasn't good. That sort of was the extremes of each end for me, which wasn't good. And then in sort of more current times over the last probably 2 years, really got my weight under control. Obviously, it is still slightly underweight, but I only finished those a little while ago. But getting it to a point where I don't fluctuate as much, and I find it's not as taxing on my body at all, not having such big fluctuations and just taking things super slowly.
Yeah, definitely. Here's a question. I know from like professional athlete standpoint, say women in the Olympics and things, their menstrual cycles would stop because their bodies are at such a high caliber. Has that ever happened with you?
Early days,
when
I went to the extremes and I was very underweight.
Yeah.
That did happen, and I've since learnt and have professional help with it as well. That that doesn't have to be the case, and you can definitely, there's very healthy and very unhealthy ways of doing this. So that hasn't been a problem for me in the last couple of years, which is good.
Wow, that's really good to hear. Fantastic. Thank you for that information before, Felicity. So now I would like to do a food diary of a typical day or something that you've had over the last 24 hours. And then we will compare in accordance with the Australian Dietary Guideline recommendations afterwards.
Sure.
So, to start off with, approximately how many serves of vegetables, legumes, and beans would you consume in a typical day?
A typical day, probably around 4 servings.
4 servings, yeah. And do you stick to the same vegetables, or like?
When I'm getting ready for a show, I'm quite boring and do stick to the same things. At the moment, I'm, as we mentioned before, slowly starting to introduce things. But I sort of like to stick to things like, I really like capsicum, zucchini. I like beetroot, things like that. But I know that I can definitely increase that a little bit more.
Yeah. Awesome. All right. And fruit. How many servings a day would you say?
Probably about 2 servings.
Okay, fantastic. And what type of fruits do you eat?
I sort of mix between things like bananas, strawberries, blueberries, apples. They're my favourites.
Cool. Nice work. And grains, cereals, whole grains. What would you say per day you consume?
Yeah, quite a lot of those. Probably about 5 servings a day.
5 servings? Okay, cool. And what type of grains?
I like cereals? To say have, for breakfast, have porridge, so using oats.
Yep.
I'll often have another bowl of that before bed. And then sort of for, lunch and dinner or throughout the day, I'll have, maybe some rice, some sweet potato, rice cakes, things like that.
Okay, cool. Fantastic. And meat, poultry, fish, nuts, eggs, seeds, and legumes or beans?
Yeah. Probably around 5 servings of those as well. I kind of team those with my whole grains and things.
Yeah, okay.
Rices and things.
Yep.
I sort of have a mixture. I go between like lean beef mince, chicken breast, salmon, love peanut butter.
Everyone loves peanut butter.
Yeah, who doesn't? Yeah, white fish, maybe add some seeds in every now and then, but not really that much, and not really having that many like legumes and things.
Yeah, okay, fair, cool.
But
fair.
more the meats and fish.
Okay, fantastic. And dairy?
About 2 serves a day.
Yeah.
I know I could maybe increase that a little bit. I'm not the biggest fan of dairy.
Yeah.
But I do try and have either some milk or some yogurt. And sometimes I'll add that to like my porridge and things like that.
Okay, very cool. That's good. And discretionary items. So this could be anything from say like sweets or like chips or something. Fats, oils, even like spreads on bread.
Yeah.
Essentially, do you say like how many per day? If
probably 1 serve a day.
Okay.
I don't really have that much sort of lollies and chips and things like that, but maybe some oils like coconut oil and things like that in my meals. Every now and then I might have some chocolate.
Oh, we're all guilty of that. Yeah, yeah. What type of chocolate do you like?
I like dark chocolate.
Perfect. I was actually going to recommend dark chocolate. A lot of people like white or just milk chocolate, so if we're going to have it, let's make it a little bit healthier.
I like dark chocolate with coffee.
Lovely. Sounds very nice. All right. Thank you for that. Okay, so thank you for your food diary before. So with this information, we're going to use and compare what you approximately eat in a 24-hour period to what the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend that a woman of your stature, age, height, weight consumes in a 24-hour period.
Okay.
So what we're using here is you see the screen there?
Yeah.
It's eatforhealth.gov.au, which is the Australian government website with all dietary and nutritional recommendations within the guidelines are on this website here. So coming in here, so if you see here, we've just put your details in, and now if we look at fruits, vegetables, legumes and beans, you have 4 servings per day. The Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend 5 servings per day, so we can increase a serve of vegetables inside that. So you were saying previously that you quite enjoy like capsicums and zucchini and things.
I like eggplant, beetroot.
Yep. Okay, fantastic. Would you ever be interested in maybe trialling some like broccolini and things like that?
Yeah, I should try that.
Implementing that in your diet? Okay, fantastic. Now we go over to fruit here. Fruit is, so you've nailed fruit on the dot.
Great.
So 2 serves of fruit per day, which is fantastic. Would you ever be interested in trialing some other fruit, maybe things like grapefruit or like mandarins and things?
Yeah,
like
there's some good suggestions.
Good suggestions. Okay, fantastic. Now, grains, cereals, and whole grains. So yours was 5. We look at the Australian Dietary Guidelines on here. They have 6 servings. So we can increase.
Okay. So I thought I was eating a lot of that, and I thought you were going to tell me to eat less. So that's actually a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it is a good thing. Yeah. So because we also overall want to bring your body weight up as well. Increase your lean mass to meet the standards of the healthy BMI, and improve your diet in accordance to the Australian Dietary Guidelines, which we are doing here. So you were saying before. So could you remind me what?
So and I was going to ask you as well what you suggest. So I'm sort of having a mixture of like oats for porridge a couple of times a day, rice cakes, things like that. What other things would you?
Have you thought about maybe having some like whole grains, like breads and things like that?
No,
rye
I
breads
forget about that. Yeah.
And another good one is crisp breads as well, which is a really good source of grains there. And I also like to recommend with like rice cakes and things, go between and actually trial the brown rice cakes as well. Yeah. Being a lower glycemic index, lower GI, so it's a little bit slower digesting essentially. So and essentially the carbohydrates release slower in your system, so more sustainable energy.
Okay.
Just for your information, take it or leave it. And meat, poultry, fish, eggs, nuts, seeds, beans, legumes. So you've got 5 here per day. If you look at the Australian Dietary Guidelines, that actually recommend 2.5 per day. So you're essentially eating double that. Okay, so what we need to do is reduce the amount that you're eating per day, because you said you do like to eat a lot of meats and things, like salmon, lean beef, chicken, you were saying before, and this is all within a day.
I'd eat that all in one day.
Yeah, and I'm assuming this is from the competitive bodybuilding and fitness modelling, where I suppose like protein is very, very high.
Yeah.
So here, we're not going to realistically be losing or reducing your calories because we need to increase calories with your vegetables and your grains, right? So we need to decrease your meats here. So what I'm trying to say is like don't feel like you're going to be missing out on food because we're increasing food in other places to make it match inside the Australian Dietary Guidelines. So would you be happy, say, maybe instead of having 3 to 5 different protein sources per day, would you be happy having 2.5 a day or 2.5 a day?
Yeah.
Essentially, like, so you could maybe have like your lean meats and things for lunch and dinner, as opposed to nearly every meal of the day, really, isn't it? Yeah. Okay, right, that's good.
A grocery bill will be cheaper.
I'm sure it will be. So, if we look at dairy here, you have 2 servings per day here. And so this is another place where we can actually increase again.
Okay.
So the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend 2.5 servings.
Okay. So it
of
wasn't
dairy.
far off.
So no, you're actually hitting it very, very close.
Or what it was. Okay.
Yeah, and you were saying you're having like Greek yogurt and things like that?
Yeah.
Okay, fantastic. Have you ever thought about trying something like cottage cheese?
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah, I'm not a fan of like cheese as such, but I like yogurts and things.
Okay,
I haven't had cottage cheese for a long time, so I can certainly give that
It's something you can give a try. Just get a little tub, and if you want to watch the fat content, always go like the lower fat cottage cheese is generally quite good. Also, do you drink much milk or anything like that? Like,
not too much. Again, not the biggest fan, but I do try and have some just so I am getting some amount of dairy.
Yeah, okay, that's fantastic. So we will, just recapping that, we will increase that by another half a serve per day. So do you think you're able to do that?
That's easy.
That's easy? Okay, fantastic. And now going on to the discretionary items, the good stuff. Just kidding. So you have one sort of like item per day essentially that you can think of. So the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend 0 to 2.5 per day. So you've got a little bit of leeway here. Yeah. To still be inside the Australian Dietary Guidelines. So you can increase that slightly by another 1.5 serves. So that, I suppose, it could essentially be like another serving of like a spread that you could have on your food or something. Peanut butter. If you want to have peanut butter. Excuse me. But yeah, so...
Or spreads, as in, do you mean like butter or...
Yeah, so butter and... a lot of people are replacing butter now with coconut oil, which is quite nice. And
I do like
that on your whole grain breads and things.
And what about the dark chocolate?
Dark chocolate, you could increase another 1.5 servings in that as well. I was actually going to bring that up. Good spot there. Make sure it's dark chocolate.
Definitely.
Yes, that's fantastic.
Okay.
So overall, your diet is essentially pretty good. We obviously can make some adjustments here. So we've made a change with your vegetables. We've increased your vegetable intake, legumes and beans, and we have increased your grains, whole grains and cereals. Okay, and we've had to decrease significantly your meats, poultry, fish, nuts, seeds, and legumes and beans here. Dairy, we just increased mildly, and discretionary items, you actually had quite a bit of leeway there. Okay, so that's like your eating patterns are pretty good, but there's always room for improvement, especially when we want to bring your BMI up, your lean mass as well, and put you back in the healthy range.
Sure.
So, how often and when do you eat? Like you sort of said in the phone consultation previously that you sometimes struggle with eating, you sometimes aren't that organised when it comes to like prepping foods and things. Like so.
Well, obviously, when I'm getting ready for a show, I have to be quite strict with when I'm eating and making sure I'm getting in all my food. But I do find it quite hard, whether I am getting ready for show or not. Days off are fine. I'll easily eat constantly throughout the day. But when I get to work, being a nurse, I am very, very busy. And often it is hard to get a break. And sometimes it won't be that full break. It may just be a quick, really quick break. And for me, having to sit down to a full, meal, whereas some people can just quickly have something and keep going. It's like I don't have a sort of a quick food as such. So I do find, and I get a little bit stressed with, often I'll come home from a shift and I've got nearly my whole day's worth of food to have, once I finish the day, and that does stress me out a little bit. So just really working out how I can maybe have more kind of smaller meals while I'm at work, things that I can eat a bit quicker, and then having bigger meals maybe either side of that.
Well, it's a very good observation there. So it's exactly what I was thinking there, is essentially having your bigger meals outside of work, because obviously when you work, the cars that you've been dealt at work are the cars that you've been dealt at. Like, and you're a nurse, it's an
I'd love
important
to
job.
have an hour lunch break every day.
Yeah, definitely. So with that, essentially, I was thinking, so you've got a lot to play with, a lot of servings of grains, vegetables. You could even do some of your servings of meat and things if you felt like having a bit of protein substance in your food. Essentially you could take like some whole grain breads to work, which is quick and easy, with like a can of tuna, maybe some salad in there. You can make a tuna salad sandwich or something, or have a bit of degustation style. I know some people like that as well.
That's a good idea.
But it's something that's light and easy, but you're still getting some, you're still getting a serve of vegetables, a serve of whole grains inside, a serve of protein sources. Being fish, some tuna. You can whack it together. You could also use like things like banana, like getting your fruits and stuff in as well around that time. That's a good healthy, essentially like a snack. Maybe a handful of almonds or something. Get those fats in, those natural fats. So just thinking we're outside the box. So like you don't have to eat like snack foods that are unhealthy for you, essentially, that would fall into the complete discretion realm. Because a lot of people do just quick foods, chips, stuff like that, big frothy coffees, and
I don't want to be eating.
No, definitely not. So you can just, you've got a lot of serves that we can use in here. So inside your work day, it's better to get some nutritional dense food in you than zero nutritionally dense, And then outside of that, you can maybe have a big breakfast in the morning. You can get in some more fruit, some whole grain toast, some cereal or something, and a serve of protein if you want to have some eggs or something like that. And then in the evening, you can have your other serve of protein with some more vegetables and your whole grains and things, and your big substantial meals outside, with in the middle of your day having your smaller but nutritionally dense foods.
That's a really good idea.
That's really okay. Well, fantastic. So do you think you'll be able to, obviously everything here I'll write down and we'll send it to you in an email, so you'll have a bit of a checklist of almost like a mini shopping list for next time.
That would be good.
Fantastic. And do you, obviously being a younger person, not to go out and socialise and that, how do you find eating out? Because we all do go out occasionally with our friends, special occasions and things. So how do you find...
when I'm getting ready for a show, I basically hibernate. And all my friends and family know that. Bless them, they leave me alone. When I'm not preparing for a show, though, I do like to, I suppose, make up that time and go out and enjoy food with people. I do struggle sometimes to, make the healthy choice as well, and sometimes, my friends and family aren't within the fitness industry, and they're not always choosing, I suppose, the healthiest places that we could go. And I often sit there, staring at the menu and thinking, what am I going to order here? Because I don't want to just eat stuff that doesn't make me feel good. I still want to be able to stick within reason. So yeah, probably need a little bit more help with what to choose in those situations, without missing out on friends and family time.
100%. Like, I think the easiest thing for you to do is like stick to like your lean meats that you can see. Obviously, you can get a nice steak from most places, or some chicken breast or something. And instead of getting, say, hypothetically, what's a classic, like your chicken palmy chips with mashed potato and like
works.
Yeah. And like a little bit of parsley on the side, and that's considered as your vegetable. You know, you can look at getting like a chicken breast, like grilled chicken breast, with your serving of rice and some salad or something like that. You know, so yeah. Or doing the same with steak.
Yeah.
With serving of say rice and your salads instead of your chips.
Yeah.
Try to keep it cleaner.
Yeah.
Definitely,
Right.
and consuming a lot of water as well. Not a lot of water, but having a big glass of water with the meal will sort of help you feel more full, satisfied. Because sometimes people need something called the gastric stretch when your stomach is full of food. Like you can actually, like essentially, you feel that satisfaction of, oh, I'm full. You know what I mean? Like instead of, and that'll help. You know, prevent you from wanting to tuck into a whole bunch of desserts and things, which, you know, every now and then is perfectly fine.
Yeah.
But there's some, you know, like if obviously you don't want to do that, but you don't want to feel like you're missing out. You want to get the satisfaction.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people. I need the gastric stretch. You know what I mean? That sounds weird, doesn't it? But
It sounds great.
yeah, but that's me. You know, and that's eating like it's a good way to get people to lose weight essentially. Because you eat foods that are full of fiber, and they're nutritionally dense, and they're like there's lots of volume per caloric intake, and you're essentially eating more but for less calories, if you know what I mean. And you're fuller for longer. So whereas someone who just is gonna smash a block of chocolate or something, and that's calorically dense, it's full of calories, hardly any nutrients. And you're going to be hungry in probably an hour, but you've eaten, 1,000 calories, which is the average, could be a person's half of their meal intakes for the day, you know what I mean? So that's a good thing there. Fantastic. So another thing I wanted to touch on was how do you go with preparing food? So one thing is we can sit here and discuss new things that you can eat and how to go about fitting everything in the Australian Dietary Guidelines, which we're doing well, and you've done pretty well so far. But how do you feel about actually executing this plan? So preparing your food for the week in advance or daily, like how do you do it now, and where do you think we could make this a bit easier?
When I'm getting ready for a show, I'm really good with it. When I'm not, I think I prepare food so much that I almost just go, ugh, have a break from it. But I think that's where I am then struggling through my shifts because I'm not, either not having it prepared or as we were talking about before, maybe just not preparing the right things where I can sort of have it quickly and sort of actually planning out my days. And, based on what you've been telling me in terms of servings and where I need to increase and decrease, I think a good way for me to actually be able to implement this is to prepare ahead. So if you have some advice on how I can make that, preferably do it quickly. I get a bit over it taking a really long time, the Sunday meal prep, all day scenario.
Yeah.
Are there easier options?
Yeah, well, I think there are some easier options. It depends. So do you like to some people don't like having frozen food, so obviously if you cook things for a certain period of time, it's going to go off in the fridge, so you need to freeze it. So are you someone that can just pull out some frozen? It's never tastes probably as good as it was once fresh, essentially.
I'm a bit over frozen food because I think that's what I've been doing.
Cool.
Preparing
we rule that part out. Easy.
Yeah.
So on average, a good safe medium that I've been using has been 3 days. I never leave anything longer in the fridge than 3 days. Say if it's like lean meats or something. So that's sort of like my rule of thumb. So what I will do personally is I will prep a whole, like my meats and things, vegetables, like my broccolinis and my capsicums, all that good stuff, my lean beef and mince and chicken and things, salmons in separate containers, and then I'll only do 3 days worth, so I don't have to freeze it. I can actually take it out of the fridge as I go. So if I need to go to work for that day, I'll just take my containers for the day and go quickly. I'll put X amount of beef, X amount of veggies in this container, and do my meal portions for that day.
Really good way to do it.
So it only takes 2 seconds to put it in a container, but it takes a lot longer to cook it. So, and I just do that. And when you're only preparing every 3 days, and you keep in big containers, it doesn't take as long, does it?
And then I suppose you can mix up your foods as well,
Exactly right.
especially with my vegetables and things. I
Yeah,
need
because
to have a bit more variety. So maybe every 3 days I could be having something completely new.
That's very very good. It's a good observation because again, you have to hit. You get an extra serving of vegetables. You need to increase an extra serving of whole grains, decrease lean meats, and that'll actually be quite easy if you only prepare 2.5 servings per day.
Yeah.
So that's you only prepare 3 days worth there. So 2.5 per day, 2.5 per day. So that's 7.5 servings over the 3-day period. So
much less cooking than I.
A lot less cooking, yeah. And then you can't go over because, if you did go over that day, well, you leave yourself short for the next day.
Yeah.
And you don't want to do that. So, I don't know, is that an easier way for you?
Yeah, that's really helpful. I'm going to give that a go.
Alright, fantastic. Felicity? Okay, so Felicity, based on all this information from this session, I would just like to take the time now to revisit your goals. So, just recapping on your goals here, to put on lean mass after being in competitive fitness shows, to bring your BMI from where it currently is sitting now underweight into the healthy range, and to improve your diet so it meets the Australian dietary guidelines. So with the information that I've provided you today, do you feel that I've adequately prepared you to increase your BMI? And
yeah, absolutely. I think with the little tweaks to obviously what I'm eating, how many serves, preparing my food,
yep.
I think I'll definitely be coming up into that healthy weight range soon enough.
Yep.
And also personally with my goal wanting to increase my lean muscle mass as well.
Perfect. So yeah, that's perfect. So just recapping with the food diary here. So what we have done is what you approximately eat per day, what the Australian dietary guidelines here. You're going to get a copy of this.
Oh, great.
So after this, and essentially we just want to match up, and you're on the right track, but obviously there's room for improvements. And this is to obviously help bring up your BMI from underweight to a healthy weight range of. So you're currently at 56 kilos, and we want to bring you up to about 56.7, which brings you into the next category of the BMI, and you have the room to move up to 76.3 kilos if your heart desired. So yeah, so we can start increasing that, and getting your diet. We're essentially killing 2 birds with 1 stone, increasing your BMI and pulling your diet into vision with the Australian dietary guidelines. So, alright, that's fantastic. And just with the information, just reiterating, the information on preparing foods and things, do you feel like adequately after this you can go home and go, right, I want to cook for 3 days ahead now?
Yeah, definitely. And also how to better schedule what I need to eat while I'm at work and have limited time to eat. That's really helpful, thinking about those big meals. Maybe pre and post my shift.
Perfect.
And then having things that I can quickly eat, like you mentioned, bananas, rice cakes, those sorts of things, throughout my shift.
Okay, fantastic. Good work, Felicity.
Thanks, Zach.
So the goals of this session from my end was to obviously help you with your goals, and in doing that, giving you guidance, utilising the Australian dietary guidelines on bringing your diet in line with that. So that's why we did the food diary and things, and with that increasing your BMI from the underweight category to the healthy weight category. So Felicity, after all the information that I've just bombarded you with, I hope you don't feel too overwhelmed. Do you have any questions regarding everything we've spoken about today?
Yeah, I do have a couple actually. My first one is obviously you've mentioned where I need to sort of increase and decrease servings and types of foods.
Yeah.
If I wanted to get this put together in a prescribed diet, how would I go about that?
Okay, so with a prescribed like diet meal plan, that is outside of my scope as a nutritional advisor. I can advise you on smart decisions inside the Australian Dietary Guidelines, but I can't give you prescribing X amount of calories, X amount of carbs, proteins or fats. So what I can do is write you a referral to a nutritionist or a dietitian, or actually, coming to think of it, a sports dietitian for you probably actually would be the best. Someone who understands, professional athletes and what they need, because from previous understanding that some athletes can require more nutrients than say the average Australian person that works 9 till 5. So they would be the best people to see.
Yeah.
So after this, I will, with all the information I've given you, I'll write you a referral to go see a sports dietitian.
That would be really good to sort of put it all together and see how I should be, even how I can combine things together.
Yeah, 100%. No, that's a very, very smart thing to do.
My second question was way back at the start of today, when we were talking about my training, and I was saying how I predominantly, only now do weight training, and you mentioned about cardiovascular training. What types of cardio could I say implement into my regime? Yeah.
So cardio, people are sometimes think cardio is boring. Like I suppose you might have heard, cardio is a bit boring in the bodybuilding world. Everyone dreads it, but obviously it's very healthy for your heart. So it doesn't have to be boring. So you don't just have to jump on the treadmill and hit 5 kilometers an hour and dawdle along and just stare into nothing. So you can. There's essentially three different types of cardio training. So we have LISS, low intensity steady state. We have MISS, medium intensity steady state, and we have HIIT, high intensity steady state. MISS and LISS is more predominantly what you want to stay around for, regular cardio. And your HIIT is more programmed training cardio, and you want to utilize that through your week, so you're not going to tax your central nervous system too much, because it is quite taxing. So it's something I've hit. Obviously, you don't really want to do more than 10 minutes of it in a session, but so MISS and LISS, they all sound bloody same. So that's something as a casual. So LISS would be like a casual walk. You don't have to do a trip and go outside. LISS would be a bit more of a hike, essentially like a bike ride, surfing or swimming. So it's just about getting creative with it. Or if you wanted to do low impact, obviously swimming is really good. The elliptical machine, there's no jarring of joints and ligaments and things like that. You see a lot of pregnant women use ellipticals and things. People that have had injuries in the past with knees, shoulders, ankles, and just things like that. So
great, that's really helpful.
Definitely,
thank you.
Definitely, no worries.
And one more question. Over the coming weeks, as I'm taking on board the advice you've given me today, is there somewhere that I can go online to calculate my own BMI and see if I am coming up into that healthy range? Absolutely.
So a favourite BMI calculator that I like to use, that's it's actually with the Australian Heart Foundation. So if you just jump onto their website, so I've just brought it up here, which is the heartfoundation.org.au. You can come on here, and it's right at the top, and this is the calculator right here, and you just put in your information. So you're a female, imperial or metric, height, weight, calculate your BMI. That's as simple as that. So as long as you have accurate information here, you're going to get an accurate number.
Yeah.
And so, with the BMI, it essentially compares your weight and height, and it is calculated by dividing weight in kilograms by your height in meters squared. So, and that gives you the result. Say what your BMI was. What was your BMI previously? 18.3. So that's how that magical number comes out of that.
Okay.
Yeah. So, I hope that answered your question. So again, I'll send you the link in that with the email.
That would be great.
So you'll have all that there to go through in your own time this evening. Yeah.
Zach, I just have one more question, if you don't mind. How do I go about finding out more information about what my daily nutrient intake should be?
Okay, that's an easy one. So if you just look at the computer here,
Yeah.
I've just brought it up. So this is the Eat for Health website that I was telling you about before. So this is where we got to pull your diet in line with Australian dietary guidelines.
Oh, where we
with your food servings, right?
Yeah.
So this is all this information's on here, and this will be sent to you by email after this. But what we're going to do here, we're going to go to nutrition calculators on here, which is on the top tab. Calculate your daily nutrient requirement.
Yeah.
Bang, we're going to hit that. This is going to pop up here. So this component, what we need to do, very self-explanatory. Okay, you're female, you're 28 years old. Make sure you hit the years and not months. And just go show my nutrient requirements. So this comes down to how much grams and milligrams of the nutrients per day that you should be consuming. So say protein is 46 grams per day. Fluids, it's a very important one, 2.1 litres per day. Most people do not drink enough water. A lot of people are quite hydrated. Would you say you drink 2 litres? Yeah, okay, that's good. That's really good. So your fibre, 25 grams per day, which is very important. A lot of people tend to have a bad day if they experience constipation, and it's quite uncomfortable. Vitamin A, 700 milligrams, and it just goes on and on and on and on. So you've got down here folate, vitamin C, calcium, iodine, iron, magnesium, potassium, zinc. And it just goes down. So you can come down and have a look at your requirements, and then you can have calculations of how much you're having per day. What's actually quite a handy tool, I find, with trying to figure out how much of the nutrients you're getting per day is using a tool called MyFitnessPal. So a lot of people use it to track calories and their macronutrients, so carbs, fats and proteins and things. But what's really cool, you can actually track your micronutrients on there as well. And I think that's more important because, your micronutrients, your vitamins and things, like it's very important for the body. So you can jump on there and you can actually, so with your diet, your daily intake of your food, flick it on to, it literally will just say nutrient index on MyFitnessPal. You hit that and it's going to have your whole day of nutrients that you've had. So you go, I've made, this recommends only 25 grams of fibre today. Oh, yep, I got that. That's great. You can just have a look for your own, perusal, really. Yeah. So that's as simple as that. So obviously, it's not something you don't want to get OCD with. Check every day. Oh my God, I hit 26 grams of fibre. I was only supposed to hit 25. It's not supposed to be like that. It's
it would be good
just to make sure that you're, an
know.
understanding of where you're at, and these foods and requirements from the Australian Dietary Guidelines are there for a reason.
Yeah.
And
that's really good. And coming from a background of fairly restrictive dieting on and off, it's probably something that I should be looking into, making sure that I am achieving all these as well.
Absolutely. And also, just while we're on the Eat for Health website, just with your question before that you were saying, obviously, if you wanted a prescribed diet, and that's something that I can't physically give you as it's out of my scope of practice, and obviously we're going to refer you later on. But in the interim, there is actually some meal plans and some really great recipes on the Eat for Health website that you could possibly trial down the track.
Yeah, I could get started on that.
You can get started straight away.
While I'm waiting for to see a sports dietitian.
Absolutely. And that's very easy to find on here. Just come to the tab up here, hit what you need, and then that's easy. And so with this, if you ever get lost with any information, just go to the guidelines. So this is all the Australian Dietary Guidelines. This is what we base This is what my parameters that I'm allowed to work in, obviously. And then it's just got your essential foods, food groups, sugar, salt, alcohol, things like that. Eating well, tips, labels, recipes that we just talked about. Food safety, which is also really good again. So yeah, and there's your nutrition calculators. So you calculate your daily energy needs, calculate your daily nutrition requirements, average recommended numbers of serves of the calories. So we use that to find out how much you needed to, how much serves of food that you needed to consume.
Oh, okay. So I could go back.
So you can go back through. So I'll send you the link and an email with everything on it of what we spoke about today. And yeah, that's about that. So was there any other questions or anything that you had?
That was all. I think that's everything. I'm sure I'll have some. Maybe for next time.
Okay, fantastic. Well, don't be afraid to send me an email or anything like that. So on that, I would like to set a follow-up appointment, say for 4 weeks' time.
Yeah, that would be really good.
And just to see how you're going with the transition of aligning your diet with the Australian Dietary Guidelines, and to see if you've brought your BMI up.
Put on that 700 grams.
700 grams. Or
bring me over the line.
Yeah, you have a bit of room to move inside that healthy barrier, so don't be afraid to, if your weight goes up to 60 kilos or 65 kilos. No, not in 4 weeks, but I'm just saying, like, just in general.
In general.
Like, that's the healthy parameters for your weight. Exactly. 56.7 kilos to 76.3. That's you are in the healthy class if you stay within that BMI. So you have a lot of room to move. So
well, I'll aim to put on the 700 grams before I see you again.
I think that can definitely happen over the next few weeks. And yeah, so if you don't be afraid to contact me. And yeah, all right, Felicity. So if that's all.
And will you send off that referral? Like, will it take a little while, or you'll let me know?
Oh yeah. So with the referral, so yeah, I will give you the referral.
Yep. Okay.
Oh, sorry. No, I'll actually send a referral off to the sports dietitian.
Yep.
And
I wait to hear from them.
And yeah, with the referral, I'll send that off immediately for you.
Oh, great.
And yeah, it's as simple as that. And then with everything we spoke about again today, as I said, it's going to be all in an email, all your food diary, what you're currently having, what the Australian Dietary Guidelines recommend that you have to bring that in line, and the information about your BMI, where it's at, where we need it to be, and implementing some basic cardio into your plan as well. Keep heart smart. And yeah, so everything we've spoken about today, the Eat for Well health website will be on the email, the Heart Foundation BMI calculator, so you can track your own progress of where the BMI, your BMI will be at. And yeah, that's pretty much that.
Great. Thank you so much for your time, and I look forward to seeing you in 4 weeks.
Thank you very much. All right, Felicity, have a good day.
Thanks, you too, Zachary. Bye.